These aren't the droids you're looking for. Mr. Mime has arrived. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not a psychic type. Howdy, folks. EJ here. Sister's on her way. First a cat was sitting on her lap, now she's getting gofefe so that she cannot be tired, apparently. Whoa, holy cow, this computer is lag very much bad this time. That was English, don't question it. Alright, well, I don't know why it's lagging so badly. Definitely has nothing to do with the 47,000 tabs that I have open. I'm gonna restart real quick and see if that helps things. Restart. Thank you. Anyway, while we're waiting, I hope y'all are having a good day. I certainly am. It was Podculicious. I got Chick-fil-A. Very nice. Okay. Computer wanted attention. Guess that's how it be sometimes. I was planning with Pumpkin about how we're going to survive our next Sea of Thieves manhunt, because we're going to be facing 3 ships, even though we didn't survive last time with 2. It's going to be bad, but, you know, we're going to try it anyway. Hello, Darkness. How's it going? Welcome to the stream. So yeah, I'm excited about that. We're going to do our best, but probably fail, because we failed with only 2 ship enemies, and now we're going to add a 3rd because that wasn't punishment enough. We're really going to need to use our brains instead of our brawn to actually have a chance of survival, and we're most likely not going to succeed, but you know, that's just the pessimism and realism in me talking. We're still going to do our best. And it'll be fun regardless. Hopefully we actually get to do some of our crazy plans, because I just got out of a strategy session with him where we were talking about all the different things that we could do to try to not die. And, you know, it's probably not going to work out, but we can hope. We can hope. I've successfully gotten back into my computer, so let me just go back to here. Bunk, you can see it now. That's fantabulous. Yes, I know that it's not quite, ready yet. Yes, it's kind of off the screen. That's fine. I can show it. Look at me showing it. Haha, it is shown. Lovely. Oh, apparently I have an image. What? Why do I have an image for this? Ian's World. This is terrible MS Paint stuff. I can only imagine what that's going to be. I'll have to look at that in a second. I forgot it existed until just now. But I'm going to have to I'm going to have to show that when McKay gets here. If I remember correctly, we left off on this at page like 29 or something. Maybe 28, I forget. Something like that. Holy computer monitor flicky flock. That was strange. Did not like. Would not subscribe for more of that. This was last modified 2017, created 2013. Good times. Alright. Well, I'm ready to go. I've procrastinated as long as I could. Hey, you're here. Perfect.
Hi.
Would you like to see the lovely image that I have here? Darkness says, school finished a few hours ago. Spring break is here! Finally! Nice. Cool. Glad to hear it. So apparently there's images here.
Okay.
Terribly drawn images in MS Paint. One is called Ian's Village. One is called Ian's World.
Wait, I'm gonna put this in announcements.
Okay. Sounds like a plan. Where'd I put my water? There it is. Wow! Let's hope I don't have any more wizard strokes. Darkness is my only friend. They're the only one here so far, I think.
Okay, hold on.
Holding on. What am I holding on for?
I need to let people know that I'm halfway disappearing for the stream, but I can't find words to express.
Halfway disappearing?
Well, like, I can still
Mentally
respond.
deteriorating?
I can respond off and on, but I'm not going to be, like, consistently
Oh.
there, you know?
I see. So you're talking to your Discord people that you talk to,
Mm-hmm.
like a lame person. Imagine not being fully committed to the stream you're a part of. Darkness says, hello, McKay, how are you?
Hello. I'm tired. I've had a long day. I went to a Bible study, then I came home, then I went to a thrift shop with my mom, and then I talked to her for an hour by accident, and then I came home, and then I had dinner.
Imagine accidentally talking to your mother.
Oops.
Did she have a rock?
No, unfortunately.
Oh, my spine, it hurts. Why does my spine hurt? Probably because I have terrible posture. I should buy a different chair. But I ain't gonna. That costs money.
Yeah, so you steal mine.
I am hyper, aren't I? Call it. So, there's two images here. I don't know what they are. I'm scared to find out, to be honest. Wow. Alright, so apparently this is Ian's town. It's very lovely. Let me just move it. There we go. Perfect. Perfectly centered, as all things should be. Apparently Ian's caveman cave is out here in the middle of nowhere. Then there's like some mountainous foothills and forest. Abandoned neighborhood over here.
This is so detailed.
This is the This is to scale as well. The gargoyle is like as big as an abandoned neighborhood. That one gargoyle that,
wow.
you know, has Ian's decapitated parents in. Yep, that's great. Here's the wizard's house. Wizard chess. Farmland, I guess. Troll Valley, that way. Main road out of village. Why do they even have a road if nobody uses it these days? That's what I want to know. I guess the trolls use it.
Did you make this on like MSP?
Yes, absolutely. You can tell by the like horribly jagged lines. So, how long ago was this then that I made this image? Because I thought I had my Mac at this time where I started to write this story. Wait, hold on. Okay, so this Mac, about this Mac, it is a late 2013 one. So either I just got my Mac or I was about to get it when I started writing this story. So this image may have been made in Windows on my old laptop. They're like terrible Asus blue laptop. And then, yeah, that's probably how I had access to Microsoft Paint. And then I moved it over to the Mac when I got it. So this is probably even older than these. Oh, gasp! That must be why it says it was. Oh, it was created then because that's when it was moved over to the new operating system, and that's when it first found out that it existed. Maybe I don't know. I don't know how these things work. So yeah, this is my lovely MS Paint image of Ian's village. Here's Ian's world.
That's the entire world?
That's even worse, bruh. It's just some weird shapes. See? It doesn't even have that cross on the A. It's just a se underscore or upside down V. Sir.
Lost.
I think it's supposed to say coast.
No, it's a lost.
It's a lost. Wow, look at that wonderful...
uneven compass.
And... well, maybe it's intentionally not quite upright because north isn't exactly that way, and it's definitely not anything to do with my art skills. Hey, Shroomy, how are you? Forest and villages, just all this green junk scribbled about. I'm so great at maps, guys. This is why I don't usually use maps for my D&D campaigns, because they would look like this. Yep.
Hey guys, I made coffee at 7 p.m. because I've had a long day and I'm already tired, but I need to be energetic for the stream, so...
Hang on, so this...
might be a terrible idea, but whatever.
This circle is the mountain.
Not the Lone Mountain.
No, not that one,
not
TM.
That one.
And then apparently there's...
Whatever the frick that
Dwarf Mountains that way. That's a terrible arrow.
That's horrible.
That's just a big arrow saying there's dwarf mountains that way.
Why didn't you just increase the size of the brush?
I don't know. Maybe that wasn't an option, or maybe I was stupid and I was too lazy to do that. I don't know. Plains and desert here. Grassy plains here. Old troll goblin mountains. More mountains. This is such a descriptive map. Elvish forest and lands.
I definitely know anything about the world.
More mountains. Yeah, this is a very helpful image. This was going to go at the beginning of the...
Oh boy.
No, this probably was actually just for my benefit, probably. I mean,
yeah.
It's obviously not a finished product in any way, shape, or form. I love how the mountain is just like an overgrown grape with like a really long stem. Apparently it's 400 miles from Edgetown to the mountain. It's very edgy. It's so edgy. Oh no.
That's where I was born.
That's
you were born
funny.
in Edgetown?
He was born in Edgetown. Born and raised. I think if I remember correctly, I was trying to do some estimation math to figure out, okay, so if one of these troll people that like brings the sacrifice to the mountain, if this troll guy had strides that were like 30 feet long, because I guess that's how long.
30 feet long, jeez.
And then I multiplied that by how many steps they could take per certain amount of time, and I multiplied that by like 30 days of travel. How far would that be? And apparently it came out to be around 400 miles. I have no idea if my calculations were correct on that or absolutely terrible. I feel like I have no idea, but we're gonna go with maybe. And then, yeah, I'm just gonna remove that from existence, and we can continue reading from where we left off with this document that I cannot edit if I wanted to. We left off on like page 29, right?
27,
like that.
29, something.
We could start at this chunk probably, maybe. Stickleback, bruh. Oh, never mind. This one. Oh, yeah, we read this. The rock in his mouth. The boy with the rock. What will I do? Oh, suicide. Yep, we talked about that. Lovely. Beautiful. Philosophizing. Bruh. That's not a word. Alright. Well, we can start here, probably.
We didn't get to, like, a section break?
No, I think we gave up partway through here. I remember that the wizard was like, "Oh, well, hello there!" Even though his daughter just got, taken by a giant troll man. What are you
I'm just looking to see if I recognize any of this.
I recognize that part at least. Are you looking for the next part that you don't recognize?
Yes.
Okay, I see. I don't think we finished this paragraph.
I don't think we did either, because that looks funny. Okay.
Okay. So...
I have to remember my edgy voice.
Your edgy voice! It was, who did it remind me of, your edgy voice?
Miriam, maybe?
Kind of, yeah. Kind of like Miriam.
But a man this time.
So, a recap for those of you who don't know what the story is so far. This is Edgy McEdgelord Mickey.
Ian.
Yes, it's
definitely not a self-insert.
Not a self-insert that's like way more edgy. Definitely not. This guy has had all the trauma. He's had his parents die in front of him, and
his dad threw a knife at his face.
Yes, abusive parents, check. Murdered parents, check. Nobody likes him. Everyone in town just yells about how much they hate him. You're just the worst. Except apparently the children that like him. I don't know why. So yeah, apparently he's super edgy and deep, but he's also got like a soft side that he doesn't like to talk about. And then his freaking witch child girlfriend. She wasn't actually a witch, but
her dad is a wizard.
She was like
stupid wizard.
Wizard who can't see. He was like enjoyment, and everyone was like, "We are not enjoyment."
Yeah, he didn't know that the village was like starving to death and dying because something put a curse on him, and he was like, "I can't see that everyone's in poverty and destruction."
What poverty? I'm a white privileged politician.
Okay.
Sorry, I don't know what I'm saying.
And then he got rid of his weird eyesight problem, and then he was like, "Oh my gosh, everyone is sad. What?" And then his daughter apparently got voted by the townspeople to do like
because they hated
the
him
Hunger
so
Games
much.
tribute to get like eaten by a dragon. So she's like just now like getting picked up by a troll and getting like taken to this mountain where she's gonna get sacrificed. And Ian, he like saved her life one time, and now he's like in love with her, but he hasn't told her that because he's way too edgy.
He hadn't figured it out yet. He was refusing to accept it.
Yeah, he's in extreme denial, much like Evan in the previous story.
Wow, there's almost like a theme of being traumatized by romance. Wow.
Is there anything else important? Oh, Evan like accidentally killed the wizard's wife or something.
Well, no, he did it on purpose, but
but like he didn't know it was her.
So the wizard's wife apparently was a demon hiding in disguise or something. It's unclear. It's unclear if he married a demon or if his wife just had been replaced by a demon or something. So one way or another, Ian stabbed the wizard's wife, and he was upset. He ate spaghetti for a bit, but now the wizard's totally chill with everything because he forgot, I guess.
So he like temporarily banished Ian, and Ian went to his cave to be sad,
where
he took off his shirt and was edgy,
emo.
But then he rapidly put back on his shirt backwards.
Wow, so
edgy.
important. Because edge.
Yeah.
He's 3 edgy, 5 you.
Yes, exactly.
It's so funny that the biggest poof ball I know made edgy self-inserts in his youth.
You're a poof ball.
Well, in my past, I was edgy.
You're such an edgy soul.
Maybe I wanted to be edgy, but I never really was. I don't know. I was tired of not being taken seriously, so I had my dad chuck a knife at my face.
Oh, no.
My dad taught me a permanent lesson on my face. This is before I watched Avatar. I didn't know.
True.
Any similarities with anything or completely coincidental? Oh, speaking of plagiarism and stuff, you know how... Okay, so the most recent and I guess only girlfriend I've ever had, I talked to her about this story, and you know, like, this is one thing we bonded over at the time, because like I had already been writing this story for a while, and then we started talking role play. We had like, don't make it weird. There were like texting conversations back and forth, and we were like, oh, medieval world stuff. Wow, this is cool. And you know, being children, we were like, oh,
children.
I mean, not really.
Make
children,
it sound like you were 10 when you were dating.
We were like, oh wow, what if we made our nonsense into a story? Hey, this is similar to a story that I was already writing. What if we incorporated it and like had some things go together and stuff? And it never went anywhere, obviously, because that was stupid. But and it was texting conversations. But I did take some of those notes from our conversations and put them as notes to never be used in this story. But that's like way, way, way farther. And then when we broke up because things went very terribly, she just to like get under my skin, sent something, I guess, to you about the new great story that she's writing and gonna get published about. Insert like 4 or 5 plot elements from this story that she just blatantly was stealing, probably just to get under my skin. She probably never actually planned to use those elements, and I was like, well, okay, so you're just gonna take my ideas and leave? Okay, sure. I mean, yeah, why not? Okay.
You lost the kids in the divorce.
Yes. So if a story ever comes out that has a bunch of these elements in it that are not crediting me, clearly she needs to be sued.
Because these are such original
It's
elements,
definitely,
guys.
well, I mean, there is a couple things later in the... It's not going to be important or care. Nobody cares. I don't care. I wouldn't honestly care if they did do something about that anyway. Okay, so yeah, you're pretty much caught up. The wizard got bit by that demon, and he was upset, even though Ian like stabbed the demon and saved him, I guess. And then Ian was like going to get some leaf medicine for the wizard, and he's coming back now, but he found out, oh no, he got back too late. His girlfriend, not actually girlfriend,
Her name I.A. That is
I with an apostrophe A.
well,
yeah,
with a
yeah.
Wasn't it just an accent mark?
Yeah. Yes.
But that's not an apostrophe then. That's an accent mark. So isn't it great that our main characters are Ian and Ia?
It's great.
Creative.
Just
points
lost
100.
all the vowels from real life people.
You mean all the consonants?
Yeah. I'm disappointed in myself.
And the entire TVA.
Anyway, you're pretty much caught up now. Ian is our main character. He's edgy as heck, and we have so far had way too much backstory, which was not good, but the actual what's happened has been decent so far. And Ian has returned, and he's sad.
He's a sad boy.
And Wizard Man is apparently very chipper for some reason, even though his daughter was just taken to be eaten by a dragon, and he's also
Demon
dying
wife
of...
just died.
Yeah, he's like remarkably chill with everything that's just happened. Well, hello there, young man, the wizard called cheerfully from across the room as he began to apply some thick paste to his neck. Sighing in ecstasy, he got hurt.
Yeah, he got nibbled on
demon
by
bite
a
mark.
demon.
Yeah. I don't even know what the demon was, but okay. Ian sighed, his head spinning.
I just realized I'm
You
imagining...
make my world spin.
I'm imagining the demon as like those floating eyeballs from Gravity Falls. That's what I imagine. The
Floating
ones.
eyeballs?
Like the things with the ice container. Or like the drunk gas station.
I was imagining it as a ghastly, like the Pokemon.
I was just imagining like straight up floating eyes in a mouth. I don't know.
Sure.
Continue.
The demons never come back at this point.
Okay.
They don't appear in the story because I didn't get to it. He closed his eyes, blah blah blah. Wait, hold on. Ian sighed, his head spinning. He closed his eyes and leaned his head down, and the next thing he knew, he had fallen down and was sitting in one of the buckets of water. Oh dear, are you feeling alright? The wizard asked as Ian blinked in confusion at having apparently just almost fainted.
Just a little lightheaded.
He hasn't eaten in 3 days.
Ian replied, extracting his backside from the bucket of water.
Well, that's to be expected. You've been through a lot today, the wizard pointed out.
So have you, sir.
Yeah, you lost all of your family and half of your shoulder. Not to mention the last shred of self-respect.
He's pulling a Thor and just, like, pushing through it and just being happy
You
until
get
he
fat.
breaks down and gets fat and depressed. Sorry, I forgot how to read. I'm Jared, I'm 19. What is happening?
This is Folly. I was
Sorry.
ensuring it did not.
How can you be so happy at a time like this? Your daughter is being taken special delivery to the dragon for his dinner, and you're just as happy, if not happier, than you were before! Ian yelled angrily,
well, at least he's
standing
calling
and
it
beginning
out.
to pace up and down the room.
Hey, I've got a wonderful medicine to put on. It makes me happier when my pain melts away.
I wish I had
Drugs.
some of
He's
that
on drugs.
for my
He
inside.
is so high right now. Oh wow, so edgy.
Yeah, it was a really edgy line there.
Yeah.
There is some comfort for your heart, the wizard responded quietly. It comes in several ways. Forgetfulness, alone time, the finding of new happiness.
I can never forget, nor can I
It's
ever.
been a day.
Ian shouted.
It's been a day.
He stopped. I'm sorry. I can't. No.
Then get some alone time. Get out of here and leave me be, the wizard
You are
retorted
too
in
edgy,
annoyance.
get out.
And Ian's outburst. Ian glared at the wizard for a moment, pursing his lips, then turned on his heel and headed outside. His boots sunk deeply into the mud as he determinedly stomped out of the village and into the woods. Ian hiked for nearly an hour, finally reaching the beautiful overlook at the top of a mountain cliff. Is this the Last Jedi? Ian sat, glaring at the vast expanse of forest below him. A sea of green leaves, breached by only the dragon's road system. The dragon made a road system?
It's a very, like, construction-y dragon.
Yeah, it's a very bureaucratic dragon.
Yeah.
Is it a metaphor for society or something?
Society's
Society's a platypus! The only visible road from this point went from... Oh, it would have been a much more interesting story if the dragon, like, didn't exist anymore. Like, it was all just a ploy by the...
That would have been
government or
cool.
something. Yeah, like, people thought that there was a dragon oppressing them, but in fact... they just got so spooked that they didn't leave the town anymore or something.
I like that.
Yeah, I think there was gonna be some towns that were like in different situations, so like later Ian's like all like, hey, rise up, revolution, let's go find other towns and get them all to like work together and we can make an army and kill this dragon, and you're like, woo, and then they get to other towns and they're just like, bruh, everything's great, have some weed and chillax with us, and he'll be like, wait, you're not, like, oppressed? And they're like, nah, I mean, we're fine, and we sacrifice a guy every once in a while, but that's no big deal. You want to, like, partake in shenanigans? And then he's gonna, like, be like, oh, well, okay, then.
Speaking of weed, I have a conspiracy
Ghost moon?
theory that one of my Animal Crossing villagers is a drug dealer.
What?
Because I invited her to my
Did
island.
all your other villagers suddenly get very chill?
No, but she came to my island, and the very first time that I like came into her house
She
when she had
offered you
moved
plants?
in, she was making something. So I came up to her and I was like, "Hey, what are you making?" And she goes, "I'm making a stack of cash." And I was like, "Where did you get that from?" And she gave me the recipe for like this giant stack of money. And I was like, "Freya, my girl."
She's into counterfeiting, that's the wrong thing.
And
She
then
taught you how to make a stack of
she
money.
literally did. And then like the next day, she looked a little upset, so I walked up to her and I was like, "Hey, what's wrong?" And she was like, "What if I told you I was thinking about moving out?" And I was like, "You moved here 2 days ago. Why would you leave so soon unless you're like on the run from
Money
the law?
laundering.
What is going on?"
She just
So
bought a property just to pretend, like, to dodge taxes or something.
She's literally up to something. I don't entirely know
Definitely
what it is.
sketchy. Let
And
her
then
leave.
one of my other villagers, she's a hamster, and I came into her house, and you know what she had?
No cash left?
A hamster cage with a tiny hamster in it. And I was like, what? Is this like a child? Is this like hamster trafficking? What is going on? So I have a money launderer and a human trafficker on my island, and I don't know how to feel about that. I also have a LARPer.
I don't know if that's weirder or less weird.
I don't know. But I'm keeping Freya because I invited her and I like her. Because her name is Freya. I had to invite her to New Asgard.
Who's Freya?
That's a goddess of, like, beauty and fertility and, like, being pretty. Like Aphrodite.
The god of being pretty.
Aphrodite of
Pretty Freya.
You know, you
Yeah.
feel. Hello, Foster, who I
Hey,
still
welcome.
want to call Langston.
What is
every
happening?
time
You know,
for no
context is
discernible
wild.
reason.
McKay has drug
Oh, I was
dealers
sorry, I was
on
talking
her
about my
Animal Crossing
drug
Island.
dealers. I did-
My chair has become squeaky again.
Yeah.
We put
I started
oil
watching the
into
Wilbert
Knott's
Needot
stick.
video, but I didn't have time to finish it.
Gasp.
Yeah, so
You
we're
betrayed
reading.
Wilbert Needot.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
We're reading Ethan's Edgy story from when he was 16.
Yep, it's basically the same thing as when I was 11 and I wrote a story, except this time I was 16, so it's slightly more competent and edgier.
Yeah.
Yeah, just edgier. It's like medieval era. You'll pick up, and we can give another recap if you need.
Yeah. Let us know.
Animal
if you need
Crossing?
one,
Question
and
mark? Question mark? Question mark? Question mark?
we'll do- Yes, Animal Crossing.
Let's see. Okay.
Please tell me it's Animal Crossing. Yes, it's Animal Crossing.
The only visible road from this point went from Ian's village to the only other nearby village, and from there to the Dragon's Mountain itself. Wow, that's a very direct path for 400 miles. This was the road the troll had taken Ia down. It was the beginning of a long, long journey to the Dragon's Place, as Ian's village was the second farthest away from... Ian's village was the second farthest village away from the Dragon's Mountain in the entire kingdom. How he knows this, I don't know. They had very long yardsticks. Which meant that Ian's village, Edgetown...
Is it really called Edgetown?
It's called
Oh
Edgetown.
my God.
It's so edgy, bruh.
Oh,
Was
no.
less bothered by the dragon's influence than those villages closer to the Dragon's Mountain.
Is that why it was called Edgecraft, or is that unrelated?
Moving on. I don't know. I mean, EJ
Okay.
Edgecraft. Yes, this I have no idea. I don't know if I had the name EJ at this point, so probably not for this. This was just, it was on the edge of civilization. It was the farthest one away in the kingdom.
Edge of greatness. Why am I so
I
chaotic? Because
deflated.
I'm drinking coffee at 7 p.m. That's probably why.
This might be a bad idea, but I cannot judge. Sorry. What am I doing?
Reading?
I lost it. Oh, Edgetown was less bothered by the dragon's influence than those villages closer to the Dragon's Mountain. It also meant that they didn't get much help from the non-existent other villages in the area during the unauthorized by the dragon troll tax collecting raids. That was
That's
a
an
terrible,
interesting way to word
terrible
it.
sentence, but okay. So trolls raid the village sometimes, and Ian's village doesn't get any help during those. And these trolls are supposedly collecting taxes, but they're mostly just attacking because they feel like it, I guess. That's what I'm gathering. Wow. I had to, like, read that reverse and then, like, go back into it and figure out what I was doing. And it meant that Ia would have to endure a journey of nearly an entire month of travel, drinking rainwater, eating whatever the hobgoblin druid would spare to keep her alive, since the dragon didn't like dead meat, and the troll would not stop or slow down. So she's gonna be starved for a month of travel and not fed? I don't think the dragon's gonna be very happy to eat a sack of bones at the end. What? That doesn't seem like a very good
Yeah, you should
idea.
be giving her chicken nuggets every day to keep her plump. I feed dragons all the time.
I don't have enough money for chicken nuggets. Well, I mean, you'd think the dragon would be like, nah, give her some bread or something. I don't eat bread anyway. I'm a freaking dragon. I only eat meat, so make sure that they are tasty when they get here. This is like the worst Uber Eats delivery
I was
ever.
about to say that same thing! Because it takes a month for
Trolls
his food
are
to get
Uber
there.
Eats. That's amazing and terrible, but amazing. The troll would not slow down. It was powerful enough to continue plodding down the path day and night, transporting Ia to her doom. And Ian, problem with two characters similarly named.
Yep.
And Ian would never see her again. Ever, if that wasn't clear. Ian thought some more.
Okay.
Gee, thanks. That's such an irrelevant statement.
He thought some more.
You can kind of figure that out.
Yeah.
Whatever.
This entire book is his thoughts. So,
Ian thought some more. No one would join him in a suicidal attempt to overthrow the dragon's rule. Not one person, including the wizard, would ever do this.
Because
Okay.
you asked every single person and every single person said no?
Ian's plan was folly, so he disregarded it and began thinking anew. He stopped thinking and instead began thinking!
Wow!
He has acquired brain cell! Could he become a speaker? Traveling from village to village and speak on the logical reasoning for why the dragon must be resisted?
You are an edgy 16-year-old. Nobody will listen to
No,
you.
he'd be assassinated before he made it 1 mile.
Oh boy.
What could he do? Ian puzzled and puzzled for several more hours until his puzzler was sore. Then he stared at the sunset, burning his retinas into a pulp, as a golden disc sunk back behind the silhouette of the dragon's mountain itself. Okay.
Cool.
That's a weird... Alright, sure. I question my previous writing choices. Just a
Don't
golden
we all?
disc. No. The mountain was large and ominous, even from so far away, and it quickly devoured the last bit of light streaming from the sun. Ian clenched his fists. There was absolutely nothing that Ian or anyone else could do. It was just impossible. Nothing could possibly defeat the dragon. Not armies or words, not even Ian's mind, which was truly his greatest weapon.
Ah!
Your brain hasn't fully finished developing yet, my good sir. Just
Yeah, you're
wait
really,
like
you're
9 more
not
years
that
or something.
profound. Just
Yeah,
calm
it's
down.
okay.
You're 16 and this is deep.
Yes, exactly. My chair has broken. I'm like wobbling, and I don't
Doing a wobbly
appreciate
whoop?
it. I am doing a wobbly whoop. Who
Oh,
dared?
that's
Oh
going
no, it's dropped a wheel off.
Oh no!
It's really bad. Oh. Go
He
in.
says, Edgecraft was fun. I barely remember Edgecraft.
Yeah, me too, honestly. But yeah, it was fun at the time.
Seb, hello.
Head thief. Oh, still need to edit that someday. Never gonna happen. Why is the chair still broken? I thought I fixed you. Oh! What if I bellow at it louder? I don't think this is fixable for now. I will just
Broken's
deal with
not
a
the same
little-
as unfixable.
This sounds like a quote from Fault in Our Stars or something.
No, it's from the Lunar Chronicles.
Okay.
Because The Fault in Our Stars is edgy
Okay.
and profound and fake deep. I'm 14 and this is deep.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm getting really weird.
Seb the Nose says,
Hmm. My name's Jason.
I'm a villager.
Ian could use his mind to invent complex machines.
Here we go again. Are you a
Ian could
perfect
think
child in every way?
Ian could think of complex battle strategies or fighting techniques.
Why did we keep this?
Predict
Why
his
did we keep
opponent's
this?
responses and retaliate quickly
You've never been in a
and
fight, have you?
powerfully. Ian was strong enough to lift large stones onto his
Is he?
catapults.
Why
by
does he
himself.
have catapults?
Ian could stop
What
an
does he
angry
use
mob
catapults
with
for?
a few wise words. I'm smelling the Mary Sue. Ian could train himself in the mind, in the body, and in the ways of combat.
The frick
Why are
is
you
this man?
saying Ian so many times? Ian could solve the mysteries of the universe with just a little bit of thought.
What?
Okay? Thoughts were
Is thi-
truly
this
the
is-
most dangerous weapons in the world.
This is him continuing to think about how cool he is.
Uh-huh.
This is not factual statements from the narrator's point of view. This is Ian thinking about how cool Ian is,
Even
probably.
though he like hates himself. He's like he's a Loki. He is extremely narcissistic,
He really
but
wants
he also
attention.
hates himself.
Exactly.
But Ian could not do this. No amount of thought could overcome this problem.
You can't just think a dragon away. It's a dragon.
No amount of warriors could overrun the dragon.
Once again, I question, why does he have catapults?
I don't
What?
know.
Why would... I mean, okay, sure. Trolls invade the village every once in a while just because I feel like it, but... What? How are you gonna... Okay, continue.
This was truly an impossible task that Ia had left him. But Ian was not one to accept defeat. He never had encountered an
I
unsolvable
am a
problem
foot.
before.
I've accepted my foot.
And he was determined to do something. What did it matter if Ian died? What did Ian really have to live for? His identity had become so wrapped up in Ian now.
What?
Okay.
I thought you haven't spoken to
Yeah,
her
I thought it wasn't that deep, but
in a
okay.
while.
Now that she was gone,
Okay.
he felt like he was missing half of himself.
Okay.
What did it matter if he
really
died?
fell in the last 20 minutes.
He did. He was incomplete anyway.
Wow, okay.
And not one person would care if he died.
Well, that's accurate.
Not the kids that like depend on you for food or something. I don't know.
I mean, I only like him because he's tasty.
Not one. Ian sighed. He really had nothing to live for but the
Super
misery of
EDGY.
basic survival. Oh yeah.
It's funny, the only thing I remember from Edgecraft was hanging out with EJ and Kat. Then I met Mike when Riftcraft started.
Mike.
Ah, Riftcraft, what a failure. I
Oh,
tried.
Yeah, I remember. Is that where we
I
met?
had
in
big
North
plans,
Falls?
but yes, it was.
Okay,
It was
that's my sole memory from that.
But hey, we're gonna do a new world soon when the warden comes out, right? Just for funsies for a bit.
Sure.
Doesn't
I
have to
like
go for too long
Minecraft.
because I might get bored quickly. But you know, also the guy I talked to at work today, I met with in real life, and he said that he's been obsessed with Minecraft lately. So maybe we can invite him or meet him at least, see if he wants to hang as well.
Is his name Debbie?
No.
What is his name?
Shelby.
I know Shelby. It's not him. But I know Shelby.
Thanks for sharing.
You're welcome. Unless it's the same person.
Riftcraft was a thing that happened. Yeah, I mean, you honestly were way more active than I ever was, Seb, or many people. But yeah, it was fun for a bit.
The shop.
We had so many plans for like cool story elements and like continuing the command block stuff, but then we all got busy because all the people who were in charge of leading it, all of us were busy. None of us really wanted to put in the work to be the one who continued leading it. So basically, it was leadershipless for most of it. And the whole reason we made it Edgecraft or Riftcraft was so that I could step down and let other people do it, and I could just kind of casually go on my own way. But then since everyone left, I felt a responsibility to take part in the project. So I was like, okay, well, I guess someone's got to do it, and now it's me, and now I'm here again. And then the problems of being too responsible and being able to defeat armies with a single thought. Sorry.
Arby's with a single thought.
They would die on the spot.
Alright, where did I leave off?
Probably somewhere around no one would care, nothing to
Okay,
live
yeah.
for.
He had nothing to live for but the misery of basic survival. There was no lasting happiness in the world. It was all pointless. All of it!
Okay.
Including settling down to raise a family in this dark
Did you not just
world.
say that it was
So that they
one
might
thing you had
inherit
to-
the sorrow.
Okay.
Everything was just a cycle. Nothing new happened.
You've
It
been
was
reading
all
too much
repeated.
Ecclesiastes, my dude.
There was no fulfillment. Life was as pointless as chasing after the wind. It's like trying to catch smoke with your bare hands. Ian had already thought all these things and more, but refused to apply them to his life. But now, Ian would.
He would die. Jump from the cliff.
All these things were pointless. Except fighting for something bigger than oneself. And Ian now had a mission that would liberate millions of oppressed people. He might not be able to do it alone, but Ian was determined that he was not going to waste one more moment of his life. He would either save the world around him or die trying. Ian smiled, a strange peace coming over.
400 miles between this village and that place. 200 people in this village. How many villages are there, and how metropolistic are they to have millions of people? 100 plus 100 plus 100 plus 100 plus... Millions of people! Okay!
Maybe he just thought about them and they spawned out of the ground.
Wow. Mary Sue has actual writer power.
With great super EJ comes great responsibility, EJ. That's good.
I like the J at the end.
A strange sense of peace coming over him. Giving up on himself was a great freedom. Either humanity would gain its independence from evil or die out, but there was no way the world could remain in this awful state much longer.
Except the town of, like, Chillaxy people.
Chillaxy people.
I think their town was called Nineveh. You could probably imagine what went on there. Nothing good. Nothing good happens in Nineveh.
Nineveh. What happens in Nineveh stays in Nineveh.
Exactly. Could have also called it Lustvugs. We remove all the consonants from our names, but we remove all the vowels from the town names.
Yeah, I like it.
Would have been Jitun. Edgetown. Jitun.
You only thing Ian needed now were helpers, people who would continue his plan if he died. Ian thought instantly of the village children. Yes, set the children up to save the world. Who loved and followed him everywhere. No,
Child soldiers.
they were too young to understand and too weak to truly help. You're
a burden to the group because you're weak.
They would be defeated, and Ian would be responsible for their deaths. Ian's mind wandered to the village people, with whom Ian had already shared almost every one of his thoughts on the subject already.
What? How? I thought you spoke to no one and cared about no one, and they all hate you.
They refused to listen.
Okay, fair
enough. They
enough.
were content in their horrid lives, filled with evil, and they saw
you
no
didn't,
reason to
share
try.
your plans for a catapult and say, hey, we can use this to stop getting raided by trolls, and they were like, nah, go away. You're smelly.
Very smelly.
You have a scar on your face. Ew. Gross. Nobody can be trusted. He is not one of us.
Oh. They saw no reason to try any stupid plan of change.
Stupid plan of
And
change.
the wizard would never help. He once had, but he had left the mission and was now an anti-radicalist, okay? He knew what horrors resisting the
Is this
accepted...
a political document, or is this like...
I don't know. He knew what horrors resisting the accepted world brought, but Ian knew that there must be some sacrifice to bring about greater good. Ian sighed. This village would not easily become the first ones to be mobilized. What? This village would not easily become the first ones to be mobilized. Okay.
It's the Hunger Games now.
But if Ian could convince someone else to follow his plan, another village perhaps, then his own village might just follow their lead and accept the call to arms. So Ian decided that his first plan of action would be to try and gain support in another village.
Okay.
At least Katniss had some credibility and some reason why people would rally behind her.
Yeah, he just, went up to a mountain and thought for a couple paragraphs. Just
Guys,
too much introspection here.
Battle.
Guys, I think we can succeed. Ian's thinking oh wow, I'm such a big-brained individual. I'm so forward-thinking. We're gonna die if we don't fight the dragon, so we should fight him first. And then everyone else they've probably had this thought before. So, I don't think he's the first one to think this.
Yeah.
Probably everyone who thought about fighting the dragon has been toasted by now.
Yeah.
But, okay. Edge. What even is the story? It is edge. Very edgy. It's, I don't know. It's kind of it's Hunger Games, but in, medieval times. Yes, pretty much. And yeah, I don't know what happens from, it's kind of, I don't remember a lot of it. No, inside. No, Ian knew where to find his best, most loyal, trusted follower. She was being taken to the dragon. Oh, okay, well, rip that one. Ian's side ached with the agony of suppressing more sobs, but Ian knew that crying could do him no more good. Not that it really didn't need to begin with. Ian stood as the sky began to darken further, the orange clouds turning red. Ian looked at the road down below for a moment. The dragon would not notice just one small preliminary act of rebellion, would he? He actually probably would not. No one had ever refused to give him a sacrifice before. How would you know this information? You live in the middle of Edge Town, farthest away from the dragon. How do you receive news about how nobody ever... The dragon would obviously give propaganda that no one ever rebels, or you'll die.
Nobody has ever refused to give me a sacrifice.
This is the Census Bureau of the dragon. We have come to report on how well you all have behaved. The dragon would never know if Ian were to save Ia. Ian smiled. I suppose I can outrun a troll with a 6-hour head start, Ian thought determinedly. I don't know if this is true. He turned around and began trotting down the hill towards his house. He was leaving everything behind to fight against evil and protect what was right. Oh, what a noble-sounding, foolhardy quest. Ian shook his head and smiled as he broke into a run while going down the hill, knowing that every second wasted was another nail in Ia's coffin. I think I must have missed something. No one had ever refused to give him a sacrifice before. No one had ever killed one of his collecting trolls before. You gotta love saying before twice.
Why is there a comma before?
I don't know!
It seems
don't know.
weird because you don't say it like that. No one had ever killed one of his collecting trolls before.
I don't know. I may have been under false assumptions about the way grammar works because I'm not a professional writer.
I'm not a professional writer. Yeah, I remember one time I convinced myself, or like I heard a writing rule when I was like 13, and then writing got so much more difficult because I was trying everything in me to follow this rule so I could be grammatically correct, but it was making everything so much more difficult, so I just dropped it eventually, and now I don't even know if that rule is true, but I just ignore it because I want to write and have it sound like actual human speech, you know?
What rule is this?
I don't know, it was like, I don't know, if you're saying something like...
Say it right.
He picked up the hammer smiling softly. Like, if you say, like, he picked up the hammer, comma, smiling softly. Like, I think I read somewhere that, like, wasn't right, and you have to, like, make it, like, I don't know. But I was like, it's so weird to not ever do something like that. So it made things way too difficult.
All the time.
Yeah, like, everyone does that.
I care where you threw up?
I think I care where she threw up. I throw up all the time. Anyway, I don't know what I was talking about, but yeah, I don't pay that much attention to grammar rules.
Water.
Bees.
Bees? They don't look like bees. They look like M's with extra bumps.
Is the dragon going, my Uber Eats is on its way.
So tasty, you're ready for it.
Yummy, yummy catfish.
Yummy, yummy catfish. Ian ran deeper into the forest than he'd ever had before. Where is he going? He was running faster than... Well, I thought he was running back to his house first to get something.
Maybe.
I don't know what he's doing. Ian ran deeper into the forest than he ever had before. He was running faster than the collection troll walked, but not quite at a sprint. He needed to reserve his strength. Ian gnawed on one of the pieces of meat he had brought, trying not to choke on it as his heavy pack hit him on the back with every footfall.
He's literally a Minecraft character.
Yeah! Sorry, I'm laughing very loudly today. Ian had packed many of his plans? Like blueprints for dentist arms again? Like, what do you forgot how to make a catapult, so you need a... whatever. All his food... How much did you have?
You bring his refrigerator.
The single skin. I thought he didn't have any. I thought that's why he hadn't eaten in days. How does he have food? Where did he get this food? Everyone's starving at the village and you just have like a refrigerator? The single skin of water he owned and a few of his most useful inventions and supplies. Oh boy, it's 11-year-old EA again.
Oh boy.
He had brought some food he had bought some food with his last bit of money on his way through village, but I missed a word there. But he had not told a soul what he was doing or that he didn't think he would be returning.
Because they wouldn't care.
He plans to get squashed. He had not even seen the wizard at all. Ian charged through the dark forest as quickly and as quietly as he could, knowing that there were probably hundreds of dark creatures ahead, just waiting for Ian to come across them. But Ian had experience with being in the woods at night. His eyes were used to it. His eyes... we're used to
he's just developed on night vision now.
Turn on night vision mode for your eyeballs. Okay, sure. His eyes were used to it and could see well enough to... That's not how eyes work.
No.
But okay. To avoid obvious dangers, and his feet were light and quiet enough to avoid making large noisy thuds. But even still, the many shifting shadows of the nighttime forest were rather unnerving. So, how quickly is this giant troll doing these 30-foot strides? Because if it's like... boom, boom, you gotta go really fast for a really long time. You're not gonna catch up.
Did it ever say it was 30-foot strides?
It didn't, but that's how I was calculating it in my brain, I think. So technically, it's amorphous.
So big.
He is big boy. I don't remember. Huge. Yeah, apparently the collection trolls are bigger than the normal ones. It's not like a cave troll from Lord of the Rings. It's bigger.
A cave troll.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Were rather unnerving. Ian breathed hard, but quietly. That was great. Minecraft sounds intensified. That was a really good Minecraft impression earlier.
Thank you. It's my hidden talent.
Ian breathed hard but quietly as he made his way through the uneven terrain. He definitely didn't want to attract any attention. He also didn't want to risk traveling on the road rather than in the forest near it, as he now was He didn't want to risk traveling on the road rather than the forest near it, as he now was, due to the confirmed stories of goblin bands waiting along the roadside to rob all that traveled the paths. I thought nobody traveled the paths because they die.
And
I
that
mean, I
would
guess
be
the
good.
goblins are there because they make sure you die? I don't know. Though, since no one has been stupid enough to try going from village to village, whether by the roads or the dense, monster-filled forest, perhaps the robbers and creature hordes are gone by now. But I will not risk it, Ian thought as he jogged. Ian sighed, already tired from the day's events, and from not having eaten in so long. Ian needed rest badly, but he knew he had to keep going if there was to be any chance of rescuing Ia. If he delayed for even an hour, the troll's head start would be insurmountable. It kinda already is, but sure. Ian only had so much stamina. Ian clenched his teeth, unsure if he'd be able to run for however long it would be necessary to catch the troll. Days, maybe.
You can't run for days.
I mean, you can if you're going to kill yourself.
You
Remember
will
that
die.
book we read, like, in 6th grade of the guy who ran to catch a deer and then, like, ended up vomiting blood and finally managed to catch up with the deer, which was also exhausted, and he just was like, pat, and then collapsed.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I don't know. I don't remember what it was called. It was like
Okay.
some deep emotional journey about other things as well, but the overall like throughput narrative was just a man trying to chase down a deer just to prove he could or something. I don't know. And eventually he like wore out the deer because every time the deer would, or he'd get close to the deer, it would run away, but he kept going, and eventually the deer got tired as well and just collapsed, and then he collapsed beside him and was like, I got you. And then he collapsed and didn't wake up for a bit.
Yikes.
I
That's
don't,
fun.
yeah, if anyone can tell me what that book was that I read, please let
Or
me know the
maybe you
title
just
of.
hallucinated it. I don't know.
Maybe I did. Maybe it was all a dream. I don't know. But I remember vividly, like, I remember vividly a part of the book where it was like he came up on a vomit from the deer. Like the deer was running so hard that it just like, and then he came up and was like, deer vomit. And he vomited. Like he just, that's the vomit deposit spot. So they vomited in the same spot because they were both so exhausted and they couldn't keep going, but they were anyway, and their bodies were like, stop! Ah!
That's horrible. I hate that.
Yep, so I don't know if that's even physically possible for a human to do that to a deer. Maybe, maybe not, but wouldn't recommend trying it. It probably does bad things to you.
Mm-hmm.
So, long story short, Ian's gonna die. He's gonna vomit on the troll vomit.
Oh dear. Oh no.
Where are we? Oh yes, days maybe.
Yeah.
You want to take a paragraph?
Sure.
Sure.
The collection trolls, though big and slow, had immense strides and never, ever slowed down or stopped, or said the folklore. The trolls did everything while walking, eating whatever came across their path, drinking the rain that fell, and relieving themselves. Oh,
Delightful.
they poop.
They poop on the road.
It
No
is
wonder
like
Ian
a
does not want
horse,
to walk
it
on
just
the road.
poops as it walks.
Oh, horse buggies. Hot, steamy.
It was not a surprise that the dragon chose these speedy, relentless iron warriors.
Iron?
I thought you said they were slow, but okay. To be his...
Well, I mean, maybe they're speedy for trolls because they. Well, I guess it is kind of speedy if they just keep going, like they never stopped. If they don't need to sleep, then that's cuts down on the time for long journeys.
I suppose. To be his messengers and collectors for long distance traveling. They were extremely efficient. The only problem with them was their brains. The trolls, though big and incredibly powerful, were stupid as cattle, perhaps even more so. Ian doubted that their minds even needed the rest that came with sleep.
No wonder. That's funny.
Not that many people believe that they ever slept. If they did sleep, it was rare, and they probably did it while walking as well.
Imagine being so dumb that you could just keep doing the same repetitive actions while sleeping.
Oh no. But no one really knew. Ian felt his own eyelids drooping despite his exhilarating run.
That's not exhilarating.
That's killing you.
You have lack of oxygen. That's why you're dying.
He was already exhausted from his long day, and he desperately needed to rest.
You also haven't eaten in 3 days. You're not going to be able to keep this up.
He's Minecraft eating his meat, though.
You're okay. He's
His
not
hunger
my
bar
number.
is going up.
He can continue to jump sprint.
Oh yes.
He just needs a boat and some ice. Or a elytra.
A whale and some ice. Ian shook his head to keep himself
Oh,
awake,
whale.
knowing that if he stopped, there would be no chance at all of actually accomplishing his already hopeless mission. There's no way I'll be able to do this,
No,
Ian finally
probably not.
admitted to himself with a sigh. But I have to try. I have to go until I cannot go any longer, or I will never be able to forgive myself. Perhaps not even then, Ian thought dejectedly as he continued running. Why are things so difficult?
Because you are a poop.
You are a troll poop.
Suddenly, Ian's sharp eyes caught sight of a dark figure before him,
Moldy fart.
and he tried to stop, but it was too late. Oh, I thought he was going to run into it. It had seen him. A large flash exploded before Ian as he tried to slow down, and Ian found himself flying through the air. Then, black.
He's dead.
He's dead, Jim.
There's the end.
Oh boy! Here's the thing I was talking about last stream where I was really
boy.
excited to get to this part, maybe, possibly.
Okay.
Oh boy, I hate it!
Interesting.
Oh boy, so, unknown perspective.
Oh boy.
Let's see, according to this sheet of parchment, 2 more collecting trolls arrived here at your mountain today, your majesticness, announced a hobgoblin nonchalantly as he walked through, or into the dragon's private chamber. The dragon had been lying down on an immense pile of gold coins at first, but on the last word of the hobgoblin's report, the dragon suddenly flipped over and slammed his great scaly arm down an inch from the door, shaking the ground and knocking the hobgoblin over. Then the dragon's enormous fiery eyes opened, and the dragon grabbed the poor creature and pinned him against the chamber's ornate stone wall, a razor-sharp claw hovering an inch from his neck.
Who's the dragon?
I guess I am.
Okay.
Majesty! It's majesty, not majesticness. I am king here, and you call me by the correct terms. Got it?
The dragon roared at the hobgoblin. The little servant gave a terrified little squeal, pleading to be spared. The dragon gave a growl and a puff of smelly smoke as he released the hobgoblin grumpily.
Remember who's in charge here. I can incinerate you and replace you with a new servant in a heartbeat.
You want to be the
Oh.
hobgoblin? I feel weird talking to myself.
Yes, of course, master. The hobgoblin stuttered, falling to his knees and rubbing his neck nervously.
Well, finish your report. You can lick your wounds later.
The dragon snapped irritably. That was more laughter. Sorry, I didn't know the stage directions until afterward. The hobgoblin jumped at the sudden second outburst. Oh, it was supposed to be very intense. My bad. Then quickly crawled back to the dropped piece of parchment, shaking all over.
Stop shaking,
The dragon ordered. The servant froze, closed his eyes, and took a deep breath of the rank air in this chamber. The firelight danced across the piles of gold coins, sparkling like the stars as the hobgoblin opened his eyes again, looking down at the yellow skin of his twisted, filthy fingers that clutched the report. Ew, this is a visceral scene. He swallowed hard, then continued to read the scrawling goblin writing that had been made by a bit of charcoal in the hand of one of the dragon's other minions.
Yes, sir.
Not sir! Boss or something.
The dragon snarled again.
My apologies. One troll arrived from the town of Riverfront carrying taxes. Another one came in from Mountainport carrying the annual sacrifice.
I thought it said port twice, my bad.
Boy or girl?
The dragon asked, suddenly more interested in the report.
A young, scrawny boy, barely worth more than a toothpick, I'm afraid. The
Why? It's clearly not because you don't feed your sacrifices.
hobgoblin replied empathetically.
The dragon. Oh, sorry.
The dragon clenched his fists and growled angrily.
I want some more decent food, not the rejects of society.
Yeah,
He cried.
how come we can't have snacks?
He cried, swishing his tail back and forth and spilling.
No.
Hi, Luna. I know you
Demand
requested.
attention.
I know you requested in. Are you just gonna sit there? You're just gonna
Get
sit
up.
there and meow. We're busy. Hey.
Hey, come up here if you want to be loved.
He
I'm getting you.
cried, swishing his tail back and forth and spilling a pile of gold silverware intermixed with jewels.
Write this down.
Gold silverware.
I want a new law to be put into effect, starting as soon as we can get the message out. That says all the villages and cities have to give better meat. Say that if any village tries to slip me a useless meal, I'll personally fly down there and torch the entire village.
That's a little fatphobic. Because he wants meaty people, so you can only sacrifice the chubbier ones.
How is that fat phobic? What does that mean?
Well, because you're persecuting the fat people. Poor Thor.
Fat. No, that's but he's actively requesting the fat people.
To be eaten.
He wants the fat people.
Well, yes, but the village will eat the fat people because the dragon wants to eat the fat people.
So that they don't die, though. So it's not really. It's. I mean, I see where you're coming from, but I don't know if that's the correct term to use for this.
Okay.
Hi. Wait.
Why is he highlighted right there?
I really don't know.
Okay.
Maybe it was important for some reason, and I never came back to it. Obviously.
Oh look, it's a stereotypical dragon antagonist.
Gotta love Smaug. Except he's apparently bureaucratic this time.
Yep. He likes making highways.
He likes making laws and highways and apparently maintaining these highways even though nobody uses them. Hi. Hi, cat. You're really demanding attention. I know.
He really is.
I can't pet you. My hands are so sweaty. I will just become cat fur hands and then I will touch my face and cry. And my eyes will become cat fur. And
you are so demanding.
He really, really wants attention.
Yes,
but
my lord.
The reason I went over there was because I heard a tapping as he meowed and scratched at the doorknob because he really wanted in.
He really liked your room for some reason.
He likes me too much. I should stop encouraging him.
Yes, my lord, but what if there aren't any better choices for meat? What if the whole village is starving to death like all of those reports have been saying? It seems to me like the entire country is about to burn itself out.
Well, that's their problem, isn't it? They should have made more food for themselves to eat. I don't care how they do it, just make it happen. Maybe get rid of the maximum age limit so I can get some fatter adults. But if I get any tough, chewy old folks, I'm torching them. The dragon threatened as his twitching tail knocked a suit of armor and dislodged a battle axe, which fell and found a chink in the dragon's scales, putting a small gash in the hide of the dragon's tail.
Wow, what foreshadowing that must be.
The dragon snorted in annoyance, flicking his tail to remove the blade. The axe flew off of the dragon's tail, sailed through the air, and stuck into the ground mere feet away from the busily writing hobgoblin. He jumped, making an accidental scrawl across the paper. Well, maybe I won't personally go down there, the dragon thought aloud, staring at the small trickle of blood that now seeped from between his scales. Interesting. He instantly felt his inner dragon magic shift from enchanting his scales and making him mostly impervious to healing the small wound as quickly as possible. Interesting.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay.
Maybe I'll just send my full force of goblins to destroy the village. I'm getting pretty old,
The dragon admitted sadly, feeling his tail sting as the flesh regrew slowly. The hobgoblin looked up.
Really? I thought dragons lived to be hundreds of thousands of years old.
They do, and I was young when I took over the kingdom.
Then how can you be old now? Asked the hobgoblin curiously.
Don't question me so much!
The dragon roared ferociously. Luna got scared. He's like, what are you stop. I'm in your lap. Pet me. The hobgoblin toppled over again, blown by the dragon's scorching breath. The frightened goblin cowered as the dragon glared down at him.
And this age of mine reminds me of another issue. Did we ever get a report back from the demon we sent to Edgetown?
The one who's been there for years, apparently.
The one I ordered to eliminate that pesky wizard who had the nerve to stop my troll's attacks in that tiny village.
No news yet on that issue, the frightened messenger replied. That village is... There's no quotation there, okay.
That village's day for the sacrifice.
Is that not supposed to be... Okay. That village's day for the sacrifice came a few days ago. The collecting troll should arrive with... Is he supposed to be saying that?
Yeah, I guess he's supposed to be saying
okay.
that. Okay.
That village's day for the sacrifice came a few days ago. The collecting troll should arrive with your tribute and news within the next month or so. The dragon's eyes He said or so a lot. The dragon's eyes flashed at the last 3 words. Remember that it's the farthest village in the kingdom from here. Be patient. Your food will come as soon as it makes the long journey.
Literally overeat.
Where's my DoorDash? Gosh darn it!
Funny how I'm playing a dragon roleplay game where I'm listening to a stream about a dragon antagonist.
Interesting.
That's funny. Interesting.
Have your dragon order some DoorDash.
But I'll be old by then.
Well, what makes you say
Oh,
so?
this is supposed to be an ancient hobgoblin druid. My bad.
Oh.
What makes you say so?
Asked an ancient hobgoblin druid as he hobbled through the chamber door. That reminded me of Nevermore. The dragon turned to see him better.
You do, you cane-wielding demon!
The dragon snarled. The druid gave a toothless grin, looking fearlessly at the dragon through squinted eyes, and laughed raspily. The dragon sighed, shaking his head.
Radeka, if you weren't my oldest,
That's
wisest,
a
most exposition-y, most trusted advisor, I'd squash you right now.
I like Rebecca. That's a cool name.
It is. I like this name. Did good for once. Much better than every other name so far.
Honestly.
I mean, Narwhal was
Narwhal
weird, but okay.
fits the character.
The wizard doesn't even have a name
Just
yet.
the wizard.
I'm sure we'll get one that is going to be bad. Let's just keep it with the wizard for now.
Merlin or what was his other name?
Gigetti.
Dejedi.
That was weird.
What were his magic words?
And how?
His magic words.
Fertiungi?
Fertiungi.
And Shingai and... What happened? I forgot already. Oh yeah, squash you right now.
And have no one to train your other hobgoblin druids?
Rebecca asked tauntingly as he limped towards an old golden throne that protruded from a pile of silver dishes.
Face it,
Solbach.
The dragon's name is Bach, but with a sol before it. Solbach?
Music.
face it, Salmac, you need me.
He pointed out as he settled down on the throne and laid his cane beside him. The dragon winced.
I told you to never use my real name again. You're not my dad.
The dragon muttered. Even the dragon's edgy. The dragon muttered as he turned back to the first hobgoblin.
Don't you have somewhere else to be?
The dragon yelled at the original messenger, who instantly turned and dashed away in terror, throwing his report into Rebecca's lap as he went. The dragon snorted in mild satisfaction as he turned back to Rebecca, who now looked through the contents of the report nonchalantly. I love how he's so old he does not care. He's like, you can murder me if you want. It's fine. I'm old enough. I will be fine. The dragon scowled in annoyance at the old wise hobgoblin, who feared the dragon less than he feared the dust of the ground.
Why do you say I'm old, Rebecca?
The dragon asked the short, fat, aged creature.
Eat him, he's fat.
Aged. This sounds better than aged.
Aged.
Rebecca held up his hand to silence the dragon for a moment. He's just so I'm reading my paper. Hold on. You'll get your turn in a moment, boy.
Don't be a boy.
As he finished reading a section of the report, the dragon sighed heavily in annoyance at being silenced by the only one with impudence enough to try to teach him patience. Rebecca looked up after a few more seconds.
It's not just me that says you are getting old. You are old.
Who says I am old?
Look at the dim, scuffed sheen of your scales. Feel the pain in your joints that comes with age. Your body grows older, but your mind remains the rash, unthinking mind of a cocky young dragon that still thinks he is above everything, able to do anything and treats himself as God.
You know, this reminds me of?
Points out. Huh.
It reminds me of Merlin's rant at the Pharaoh. You
Yeah.
are trash. You are such a fraud. Everyone
Yeah, pretty
hates
much.
you. You suck.
Holy cow. Same energy. Very funny. The dragon cringed, not used to receiving such insults from anyone, especially not one that he couldn't allow himself to barbecue.
Okay, so the way to defeat the dragon, just insult him and he'll be like, oh, no, don't say that to me.
No, you're not my dad.
I'm not old, what do you mean? I'm very youthful. Hello, fellow kids.
I used to be something of a kid myself.
But how can I be old? I'm still less than 500 years old. I reached full size only a decade before, but... Sorry. Something I got a bone, an entire skeleton stuck in my throat. Hold on. I just gotta wet the old fire. Only a decade before I became ruler of this valley. I should be in my prime. I should be able to live for another 1,000 years at least before I even begin to get old. The dragon shouted in furious rage. Rebecca paid no mind to the dragon's temper as he pondered, staring off into space and twirling his staff between his wrinkled fingers. The dragon turned around and stomped around the chamber, shaking his head in frustration. I'm not old! The dragon yelled, blasting a stream of fire from his mouth as he spat the final word. Old! You want to read the stage instructions and I can just do the voices? Because apparently I'm doing both these voices.
He then blasted a mighty spear of flame from his mouth to further release the bad-tasting thought. The powerful explosion that arose from the fireball's impact sent gold coins flying every which way and melted a pile of precious objects into a smooth, shiny hill of molten gold, which began to solidify again as the dragon launched another fireball, still pacing around the large chamber angrily.
Schalbach, calm yourself. I may have the answer. And this involves you not making your treasure into inaccessible puddles of hard-to-search precious metal blobs.
I just now realized that I'm picturing Merdeka as like one of those Manders from Wizard 101. I don't know why.
Now I am too. I was imagining him kind of more like Oogway.
Who?
From Kung Fu Panda, the turtle.
Oh.
The wrinkly turtle guy. Except without a shell.
Also, I just want to say that, like, this is very strange because I'm actually finding this plot point interesting of, like, why he's old, but he's not old. So good job, past EJ, for actually making a plot point.
I did
that
something interesting.
Is mysterious
Yay.
and interesting that we aren't, like, immediately exposited what it actually is.
He thinks to himself, maybe I'm getting old because I'm old.
So yeah, I'm slightly intrigued.
I'm glad you're invested. I was too busy doing the voices to even think about that.
Well,
Also, I wrote it, so I remember the answer.
Yeah, I am finding it interesting because there was.
Cool.
It's just because like the last book there was nothing that
nothing to draw
made
your
any
interest.
sense or was it mysterious
It
because
was
we didn't
too
know
stingy
anything
with
about
details.
moldy fart or anything about anything, so it was too confusing.
Mm-hmm.
But this is like, it establishes that dragons typically are not old until they are very old, but this dragon is not very old and yet he is old, and it's like, okay, I guess so.
Yeah, okay, I guess so. Oh yeah. What do you mean? The dragon asked, lifting up his foot to find
doing the stage directions.
Sorry!
The dragon asked, lifting up his foot to find that he had accidentally stepped in a puddle of metal. He lifted up his foot and shook it. He's strong, he's gonna run away.
I hate it when I get molten gold on my hand.
But the liquid metal would not come off. The dragon leapt about, frantically flailing his foot. It's literally Stormy as a kid when he would step in his poop and he would just fling it everywhere.
On your walls.
Yeah, but the liquid would not come off.
Help, Rebecca!
The dragon yelled. Jinx, sorry, I'm so used to it now.
Just leave it, Salva. When the metal cools, it'll be just like a gauntlet for you to take off.
Okay, Thanos.
I predicted Thanos. Oh. It's got jewels in it as well because of the there's a pile of riches.
He was the OG Thanos.
He really is though.
Do you think I could make myself a suit of dragon armor in this way?
No. If you completely coated yourself and let it cool, you wouldn't be able to move. And you couldn't even turn your head to breathe more fire on it and remelt it. But on a more serious note, I have a theory about why you have been aging faster than normal dragons.
Really? What theory is this?
Salbath, the dragon asked, walking back over to Rebecca. Be careful, your coated foot is sticking to your treasure!
Rebecca warned as the dragon walked over the piles of treasure.
Crunch, suddenly he's got the throne with Rebecca stuck to him forever.
The dragon picked up his foot to feel the underside, finding that many valuable artifacts had become stuck in the molten metal.
Well, that's
the dragon
cool.
sighed, trotting back over to the puddle and pushing his coated coated foot back into the puddle in an attempt to get the artifacts to stick to the puddle and come off of his foot. But the metal was already hardened so much, all this resulted in was a footprint in the puddle.
Why do I have claws instead of opposable thumbs?
Rebecca speaks.
Sorry.
So, Seb says, actually Thanos was invented before Ethan.
I
That's
know
true.
they're in the comics who are like super old, but I don't care.
Super old.
Where does Rebecca speak? Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Rebecca
Rebecca.
sighed as the dragon began manually picking off some of the things that had been pressed into his new glove.
You can just take the entire glove thing off your foot later.
The dragon gave up his picking and returned his focus to Rebecca.
Now, obviously everything that happens has something that caused it to happen, in case you were stupid. Therefore, your unusual aging has a reason behind it,
Duh.
in case you're stupid. Now, since dragons are already such magical beings, there must be something very powerful that is causing your body to deteriorate more quickly than usual. I would guess it's some sort of powerful spell acting upon you, but since this has happened over such a long period of time...
Wait, what?
But since this has happened over such a long period of time, it probably would have worn off unless it was recast.
So you're saying the elves have been enchanting me all this time? They're the only ones powerful enough to do such a thing. How dare those pesky, pointed-eared people mess with my kingdom? They usually stick to their own realm, but I'll make them pay for...
Stop it! I do not think it is the elves.
Sorry. Stage
Rebecca
direction.
yelled with surprising authority.
I do not think it is the elves. I believe that either someone or something in your very mountain is affecting you. I do not know what it is, if it is one of your minions.
I sound like Heimerdinger.
I do not know if it is one of your minions trying to hurt you, or one of your treasures with a curse upon it. But I do know that there is something that is constantly hurting you.
It can't be one of the creatures in my mountain. None of them are smart enough to even enchant a piece of dust, let alone hurt me. But what do you mean about cursed treasure?
I'm going to enchant Solback.
That's such a bad name.
It can't be one.
Wait. Whoops.
Hello, cat.
He says, I would like to sit upon this crunchy crunchy.
Seb says, "Stop!" with surprising authority.
Stop it.
Stop it!
Well, as you know, precious stones can be enchanted by powerful magicians, and their magical effects work well for long... Wait, what? Work well for long after the spell normally would have worn off. So any one of your treasures in here that has a precious stone in it may very well be cursed with a powerful enchantment. Powerful enough to even affect a dragon, if the dragon sleeps on top of it every day.
Rebecca finished.
The dragon stared dumbfounded.
But then it could be any one of these treasures. I have old elfish heirlooms, dwarvish artifacts, the valuable treasures from every village in my kingdom. I have no idea where some of the unusual village treasures came from. It could be anything. Order a team of goblins to sort through my entire collection of riches before the day is out and try to find whatever it is.
I feel like Rebecca is like trolling him and being like,
It's actually me. Oh, I am going to kill him with my own magic because I am so old and he won't care.
Yeah, but also it feels like he's like, oh, it could be one of your jewels, so therefore you should discard all of them. Wink,
You
wink.
should give me your jewels so I can
'Cause
examine
they're
them.
definitely dangerous.
All of them are bad.
That's what the
Imagine he examines them and he's like, "Oh, yep, they're all bad. Sorry,
Also
guess you'll
bad.
have to
Give
give
them
them
to
to
me.
yep,
I'm the only one who
I'll
can
unenchant them
disenchant.
for you. Yep, whoops.
He's
Yep,
like,
it'll be
oh, fine, I don't want to be old.
good. I do want to be old.
Old man energy bills.
It's amazing. The dragon sickness works on the dragon too.
I'm sorry, but that is quite impossible. You see, depending on the type of enchantment, it may affect anyone in the area, or anyone who directly touches it,
Or it may even work in another way that I've never heard of. It depends on the person who enchanted it and the crystal structure of the gem. But I can promise you this. If that curse is powerful enough to harm you, it can kill my squad of goblins. I am certain that if we send even hobgoblins into the mountains of treasure you have, whoever finds the actual cursed artifact will not be able to tell anyone about it. Sorry.
Then we'll send a troop in, and whenever they start to drop dead, that's where we start looking.
And how exactly do you expect them to start looking if they aren't alive anymore?
Rebecca challenged with a defiant look on his face.
You can use a magic to locate it whenever we find the right area.
I'm afraid not. I require a little more information about an item before I can hone in upon it and lead you right to it. If all I know about it is that it's a cursed item in some fashion, I can't help you. But I suppose you can just get rid of whichever mountain is in the right area. However, the idea of killing your...
No!
The dragon rolled.
I am not getting rid of one gold coin more than I have to, let alone an entire mound. You find that exact item by tonight, or I promise you I'll rip off your long fingernails. Do whatever you have to, but find that item!
But...
And I will go with...
Sorry.
And will I go back to normal when we remove that cursed thing?
The dragon continued, hopefully. Oh, you should sound more happy about that. Rather than, sorry, I really, the stage directions are always after.
No, I'm sorry.
Rebecca replied sadly as the dragon lost his temper again and stomped his 3-foot hard to shake the ground.
No talking, Yangi.
Who do we Yangi?
We'll find it as soon as we can. Maybe once we do, we can put a reversing prism on it and have it be a charm that will restore you. Though I doubt that. So, you have absolutely no inkling or suspicion about what or where it might be?
No.
Saldak replied, sadly turning away before freezing, then turning
It's
back,
really cold!
turning back with a furious, fiery look in his eye.
I know who it was. I was always confused by him, but now it makes sense. The guy in that first village that resisted me all those years ago, who simply gave me the treasure of their village. I need to get him. That stupid wizard cast some sort of spell on my treasure with the help of the elves. I must have my revenge on him with increased volume that I cannot do with my currently dying voice. I will find him. I will kill him personally! Him personally! Unlike that wizard a demon dealt with at Edgetown.
Also, I like that the dragon just says, the guy in that first
I
version.
know. It's such... We don't need to talk about those couple of clunky phrases.
Great. Can you point out to me where that pile of treasure would be? And Salbach, we still have not entirely ruled out the possibility that it could be a creature living in this mountain, so don't...
And who would it be? You? You're the most powerful one there is here, so you better find that jewel, or it'll be your own head that I toss out of my mountain.
The dragon threatened angrily, storming out of his chamber with his long, scaly tail dragon behind him. Dragon. This minuscule trickle of blood leaking from beneath one of the scales of his tail.
Salbach growled in murderous rage, furious that anyone would dare have the impudence to dare attack him. And succeed, even! The dragon vowed that he would kill that wizard when he found him, and he had confidence that he would find him, as there were few wizards in the kingdom anymore. Most had fled to the shelter of the elves. The dragon left the hall that led to the treasure room, trusting that Rebecca would do a more than exceptional job at his appointed task. His new silver and gold glove clanked loudly as the dragon walked through the stone corridor. It had hardened now. Unfortunately, it appeared that it wouldn't be as easy to remove as Rebecca had made it sound. See, Rebecca's trolling him. The metal had molded into the exact shape of Salbach's foot and ankle, which was actually underneath some of his scales. He couldn't move his fingers. Do you call them fingers?
I don't know.
But it felt strangely comfortable. If he were to remove it, it would need to be re-melted, but Salbok was content to leave it for the moment, as it was attracting odd glances from all of his minions.
I'm pimped out, my dudes.
He used his armored hand to roughly bat aside a goblin that was in his way, and the goblin instantly dropped to the ground dead.
Thwack! Smack!
10 points?
Want to do his thoughts?
Oh, he thinks? Where does he think?
At the bottom.
Oh, it's more deadly than I thought, too.
The dragon thought with a smug grin.
Excellent.
Okay. So he's going to become a metal dragon boy.
That's why I was excited about that perspective. It's fun.
Yeah, that was funny. I like that.
So I thought it was going to be a one-off, but I think I kept going back to it because it was so much fun. So I think there's more perspectives of the dragon going through this mystery and talking with Rebecca as well.
I don't hate the weird childishness of the dragon. It's kind of funny.
He's a young, hot-headed dragon, but he's in an old body, I guess. So yeah, it's kind of funny.
It really has like Zuko and Iroh
He
vibes.
really. You're right. Oh my gosh. He's a really immature dragon. It was intentionally written that way.
That's funny. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Ian had a slight headache when he awoke, but was otherwise unharmed.
Oh yeah, I forgot he got knocked down or something.
Yeah, somebody was there. His eyes had apparently been opened
Place your
before
bets.
he awoke.
What happened? Did he get attacked by some evil magic wizard guy, or did the wizard somehow know where Ian was going, somehow get there ahead of him, and somehow just blast him in the face saying, "No, don't go get my daughter, you freaking moron."
That was oddly specific, so maybe it's that one.
I think that's what I remember, but I don't know how it makes sense.
Yeah.
There's probably gonna be some lame explanation like, I knew what you would do, and I got here first, even though I'm injured and I don't know how to get here first. Magic. I'm a wizard.
Wizard with nondescript powers.
Yes, wizard with wizard magic.
Yeah.
It's Gandalf.
His eyes had apparently been open before he awoke, though, so his eyes felt dry and his vision was hazy. He was just sleeping with his eyes open? Creep.
Ooh, what?
Ian blinked several times before he was able to focus on the blue sky, neatly clothed in the sea of healthy green leaves above him. He was lying on his back on a grassy forest floor, and there was not even a weed in sight. Oh, how will he get his drugs?
It's not a weed, I'm calling the police!
911, what's the emergency? The slight breeze rustled the leaves of the beautiful wood, sending dancing pieces of sunlight every which way. Flower petals from a nearby blossoming cherry tree fluttered around, tickling Ian's face as they passed. Well, this isn't so bad. There must not be as many evil creatures in this part of the forest.
And then he looks down and sees that he's disemboweled.
Oh no! Maybe the stories about every acre of the wood being filled with evil were just to scare children into not going far into the woods, because this is not nearly as bad as it looked from the village, Ian thought. Ian sat up and looked around the place he was in, half believing he'd died and gone to a perfect paradise. Little butterflies and fairies flew here and there, playfully scattering pixie dust on each other. Ian smiled, only having seen fairies once before, with Ia. Ian sighed at the saddening thought. Wait, why have I stopped? I was attacked!
I'm assuming that it's the wizard, so I'm going to do that voice until I hear otherwise. Good morning, a voice called gruffly. Ian whirled, drawing his knife at the sound. Relax, Ian, it's me. I mean you no harm, the wizard told him.
Wow.
Ian stood tensely? Sorry, I can't read. Surveying the scene. The wizard seemed more healthy, but still needed medical help, and was sitting upon a large flat rock. His bandage was still on, under his clothes, so it was mostly unnoticeable. Ian stared, confused. The wizard twisted his staff.
Am I dead? Are you really the wizard? Ian asked, distrusting. The wizard laughed weakly.
No, dear boy. You're alive. I'm sorry to have stunned you, but, it was the only way I had to stop you, the wizard replied.
You could have yelled at me to stop.
Oh, but concussions are far more effective and fun. Yes, because you clearly would have listened to a strange apparition in the middle of the evil woods at night who was yelling at you to stop. You would have thought I was a ghost or a trick or something. But now that I have your attention, and I've demonstrated that I'm not a horrid monster by not eating you while you were asleep, I think it would be good for us to talk, yes?
I suppose. suppose. Ian
You
relented.
ruined every possible chance of going and saving your daughter, by the way.
Yeah,
I hope you
that
realize
was
this.
bad. Who's here? Hello, Kenzie.
Oh, hi.
Welcome to
Welcome.
Edgy Town.
Very edgy story that I wrote when I was 16. There is man, there is dragon, there is wizard.
There is a woman who is taken by evil troll to be sacrificed to a dragon, and he's trying to save her. That is the basis of the
Edgy
plot.
boy is trying to save her.
Yes.
He's
edgy
very
boy.
edgy.
He's edgy. Ian relented, sheathing his father's knife. Why were you here? Why do you want to stop me? How do I know you aren't some sort of shapeshifter that wants to test me?
Look, if I wanted you dead, you'd be dead by now. I saw you run by, and I knew you were going to save Ia. I could just tell. I knew... What? I could just tell. I knew you would, too, he replied thoughtfully. Okay.
Okay, and you don't want him to save your child because...
So I used a bit of magic to get ahead of you so I could talk to you. But if you want definite proof that I am me, then take this,
The wizard said, tossing something to Ian. He caught it and examined it, finding it to be the charm given to him by his parents. Wow. Ian looked up, hurt. What? Ia gave this to you? To give back to me? She returned my love?
Yikes.
Wow. That's kind of rude. Oh, wow. She actually did.
Ia gave it to me when the troll came. She said she couldn't accept it because she knew how much it meant to you. She told me to thank you and tell you she knew what it meant. Thanks for saying the same thing twice. Alright. She also said to say goodbye.
Well, I think he was saying, like, what it meant that he gave it to her.
Ah. Am I stupid?
Maybe.
I don't
You
know.
can't interpret your past self.
I can't.
Meaning.
I forgot to give it back to you yesterday because I was trying to forget about everything by doing my work.
There was a reason I gave it to her. And I didn't know it at the time, but I was sure. I hoped never to get this back, Ian replied.
I still don't know what it is. Is it a secret code or something?
No, it's... Never mind.
You wouldn't understand. You're not edgy
I'm
enough.
too edgy. You don't understand having a dead mom that gave you a locket that you gave to your girlfriend, and she gave it back to you, and it's really sad.
Is it sad?
What?
Is it sad, or is it sad from their perspective?
It's sad from my perspective because I'm an edgy boy.
Edgy
And
boy.
I'm just really upset that I got my freaking rock back that I gave her. You look better. Ian changed the subject as he put the charm back around his neck.
I may look that way, but I'm not. It'll take some time for me to heal completely.
The wizard replied with a glare.
Oh,
A glare?
I'm sorry to hear that. Ian replied coldly after a moment of silence.
Why do you hate me? I've done you no wrong.
You just gave me a
You
concussion.
literally blasted him in the face. What do you mean? You could have just said, "Hey, Ian, stop." But instead, you blasted him with magic. Okay.
Lovely.
This is a little bit of an eccentric crazy man.
Mhm.
The wizard asked in confusion at Ian's tone. Oh, did you already read that?
No,
Okay.
I don't.
Then why do you always avoid me when you can and talk so little in my presence and try not to make eye contact with me?
I don't know. I'm sorry. I guess I just feel unworthy. Ian responded.
I'm still worthy!
Looking at his feet as a fairy landed on his shoulder.
Oh, cute. I like fairy. I don't know what to do, but I like fairy. That's my say.
Because I can use magic and you can't? Or because of Ia?
Neither. I don't know how well you remember that time when you saved my life.
Oh, you wish to repay your life debt?
The wizard thought aloud. Ian nodded as the little glowing fairy fiddled with Ian's shaggy, longish hair. Hey, that's accurate to real life right now. Ian slowly turned to look at it in amused confusion as the wizard pondered.
Well, if you've successfully reclaimed...
Wait, what?
If you successfully reclaim my daughter, you may consider that debt paid.
You actively stopped him from doing it. What?
But that isn't going to happen.
The wizard sadly pointed out. Bro, what?
What do you mean? Ian cried in frustration as the fairy climbed up Ian's hair and knelt on his head.
Excuse me? Could you please leave?
There's no way I'd let you go off like this. It's stupid. You're just going to get yourself eaten, and then our village will have one less strong man around to help. And even if you could save her, the dragon would know and he'd come kill us all. That is, if he's still alive.
The wizard argued. Ian screwed up his face in confusion. Imagine if there wasn't a dragon, though. Imagine if this perspective from the dragon was actually 100 years ago and he just died. He's just dead. Rebecca's in charge of the dragon now. Or the mountain. That would be a plot twist and a half, though.
It would.
Anyway, Ian screwed up his face in confusion, which intrigued the fairy on his head. Oh wow, facial expressions, one of those.
Wow, I have no emotions.
Meanwhile, another fairy landed on Ian's pack of supplies. Where are these fairies coming from? Why are they here?
I don't know. Come on. You know that I'm not even a part of the village and everyone hates me.
I thought you shared all of your deep thoughts about stuff.
You said yourself that I'm a curse. I'm a jinx.
You're a jinx! Ah!
I ended up getting everyone around me killed! Ian yelled angrily, turning away.
Well, maybe if you would stop building catapults.
And mousetraps that chop knives and cleavers through people's feet!
Yeah.
Gotta chop off your feet. Oh boy.
I guess I could marry, what's his name? Gnarble boy.
Who?
Footless man. What is his name?
Normal.
Okay.
Oh no.
I said that in anger, which I am sorry for.
Then Ian stopped and turned back slowly. What do you mean, if he's still alive? Of course he's still alive. Dragons live forever. If he wasn't still alive, do you think his stupid trolls would be able to take over this operation?
Well, not the trolls, but the goblins, perhaps. I actually studied under one of the dragon's top advisors once.
Rebecca?
Why would there be any chance that... What? Why would there be any chance that the dragon is dead? Ian asked incredulously as the fairy on his head reached down to curiously poke at the long scar on his face.
Do you mind? Excuse me, I'm having a conversation here. I kind of like it. Why would there be any chance?
He may have tripped over a splinter and face planted into a wall really, really hard. Perhaps he had contracted brain cancer because of how stupid he was. Or, in fact, perhaps he was allergic to bees. Naturally, bees can't sting through the thick hide of the dragon, but it could have gone in his mouth.
Sorry.
Oh, that reminds me. I saw this random post thing, and it was talking about, it was step 1, capture a bee in a bottle. Step 2, put the bee in the freezer. This will put the bee to sleep and he will go into a comatose state. Step 3, take the bee and put it in your mouth and keep your mouth closed, and then the bee will slowly warm up and wake up, and then you will have a bee in your mouth. And someone commented, why would I do that?
Why? Why would you do that?
I don't know.
What is wrong with you? Holy
It's
cow.
funny, though.
Then you could have a bee in your mouth.
There is a bee in your house, Nancy
Imagine
Drew.
someone just is like, hey, bee in your bonnet, and you're like, "Bah."
Oh no, I don't want bees in my mouth.
Imagine if it tried to crawl down deeper. Because it was like, this is a hive.
Oh, I hate that. Ew.
Yes.
Esophagus.
Imagine how many bees you swallow every night.
I hate it.
That's a long story from a long time ago.
In the galaxy far, far away.
Yes. Back when I was in that other village, leading the resistance against the dragon.
The wizard reminisced dreamily. Ian sat down cross-legged in the grass. The wizard noted this and sighed. He seemed disturbed by the memories he was thinking about.
Oh, very well. I suppose I have a confession to make. Back when we first started the rebellion, I knew that we weren't going to win. I knew that I was probably sacrificing the lives of many, but I didn't realize just how many. I thought that the dragon might send a few trolls or goblins, and a few of our men would die, and then the dragon himself would show up and scare everyone back into submission and take a fee of gold as punishment.
Wow, we're getting the exposition already. Okay, this is a lot
Okay.
quicker than I expected things to develop, but okay. Way to ruin the mysteries.
Yeah.
I didn't expect him to utterly annihilate everyone and everything.
What?
Everything and everyone in the entire village as soon as we let loose our first cry of rebellion. I was devastated. I had failed my duty to protect the village. The only thing that had worked was my secret plan. The one I hadn't told anyone else about besides my closest friends.
The wizard paused, taking a deep breath.
Myrtle is here.
Myrtle!
EDGY story time for my Betty time.
Oh boy!
Yay, story time for Betty time. And yeah, I feel like it would have been cooler if the dragon scene had stopped before Rebecca gave his magical theories of like, I bet someone enchanted something.
I also
and
wish
then,
he hadn't come up with that theory so quick.
Yeah, and then like I thought it was cool that like if that hadn't happened and that was still a mystery, and then the wizard still said like if he's still alive by now, but then didn't give a huge exposition dump, then that would have been kind of cool because you're like, oh, did the wizard do something? What did he do?
Yes,
But
that would have been
it's-
so much better. Ah,
But now he just gotta tell us everything.
freaking.
Like, give us something to think about.
Okay. To be fair, this is a first draft, so maybe
Yeah, true.
maybe I would have done that if I had actually gone back and edited and stuff. Because clearly I have somewhat of a brain because I'm starting to do some somewhat competent things in this. When I was in the 16-year-old era, but it could have been so much better. Just needed a little editing, a little punching up, a little removing of exposition that nobody needed. Could have been so much better.
We should take the elements of the story that are cool, and I will contribute
Air,
characters or something,
water,
and we
earth,
can make something decent.
fire. Long ago, the four elements lived together in fire. Anyway, hi Myrtle, welcome to the stream. If you need a quick recap, there is edgy boy main character. He is edgy and edgy.
Didn't Myrtle? She was there for like
Was she
at
for the
least
first one?
at least some of the first
last
one.
Last week.
Last week.
I have a stroke.
But what's happened in this week so far is let's see.
We had a perspective of the
Ian
dragon. That was
did.
fun.
Ian
I enjoyed
was
being
all
a dragon, except my throat really hurts now.
Ian was just like, okay, I gotta go save Ia because we're gonna like start a revolution. So
I gotta go save the
villages.
princess! Woohoo!
We're gonna start a revolution, but first I gotta save her. And so we started running for like 1 billion years after the troll that took her. And then we got a dragon perspective, and the dragon made us so back. And he's really immature.
He really is.
And he's like rapidly aging for some reason, even though he's still pretty young for a dragon. And then he has this little like goblin friend whose name is Rebecca. And
I like that name.
I like that name a lot too. It's kind of cool.
We should name our firstborn child Rebecca.
That's better than the other option.
Oh yes.
And he's all like, I think that you are a dumb dragon, and I stand up to you, and you cringe at me. 'cause I call you
Loogie,
by
welcome.
your name.
Long time no see. Hope you're
Um,
having a good day.
and so the dragon was all like, why am I old? I hate being old.
Imagine
and
being
then
old.
Rebecca was like, I bet someone enchanted one of your magical treasures. Ho ho ho.
Ho,
And then
ho.
the dragon was like, it must have been that wizard from that village that just kind of gave up their gold to let them fight. Oh ho ho ho. And now
To be fair, this story just implied that literally the entire village got torched and everyone died before that happened.
Yeah.
So I mean, what else was the wizard supposed to do? Why is that suspicious?
I don't know. But yeah, now a wizard guy, he's in the woods. He stopped Ian from saving his daughter for some
Clearly
reason.
this was written procedurally.
Yeah.
Without a plan.
And so now the wizard is giving us an exposition dump on what he actually did to enchant the dragon or something. So, who
I
else is
feel
here?
a burp coming on.
Silver! Oh, we're getting lots of new people.
Wow, all the people are
Just
showing
when
up
I
all of a
finished
sudden.
the recap.
Yes, well, we gotta do another recap, obviously.
Okay,
do
very
a
fast.
recap of that recap. Just
The
like
recap of the
shorter
recap.
and shorter.
But I feel like I don't think Silver or Loogie were here for last stream, so I'll just give
Okay,
a
sure.
general
Overall
quick recap.
of the story.
This is edgy 16-year-old Ethan's edgy story,
Yes.
in which we have main character Ian, who is a very edgy boy, and his parents are dead, and they were also
His
abusive.
parents are dead.
And they got like murdered by a troll, and he's like very traumatized and everything. And then there's Ia, and that's like his love interest, and he saved her life one time, and she's the daughter of a wizard, and like everyone hates both Ian and Ia because they just hate them for some reason. And so Ia,
Because they're main characters, obviously.
yeah, you gotta hate them. Ia
Everyone
got
must
like
hate them.
voted to be sacrificed to the dragon because they do that every year. They vote for someone to be sacrificed to the dragon. So she got snatched by some giant troll, and she's like currently on her way to be murdered. And her dad was all like, oh, that's okay, I guess, because he just is okay with his daughter being murdered, kind of. And then
well, I guess the only logic he gave was if she doesn't show up to be eaten by the dragon, then the dragon will murder the entire town. And he's like, well, I have a guilt complex about that because everyone died in the last village I was supposed to protect.
Whoops.
Whoops, you're not.
So Iya got taken, and Ian is going after her, and then he ran into the wizard, and then the dragon, whose name is Solbach, he's all like, oh no, I am getting old, even though I am not old, I am still young boy dragon, and he's also really immature, and he's just like, why am I old? And then there's this
anger,
guy.
fireballs, break treasure, step in melted treasure, ah, gosh darn it, now I have a golden hand. And then, that's actually pretty rad, though. I'm gonna keep it.
Yeah, he likes his little jewelry. And then his little friend, his goblin friend, who's really old.
Gauntlet.
His name is Rebecca, and he was all like, "Oh, I bet that some wizard I bet someone enchanted some of your treasure, and that's why you're getting so old." And the dragon was like, "Oh my gosh, I bet it was this wizard from this town that I attacked a while ago." And now Ian is with the wizard in the woods, and the wizard is explaining how he enchanted things, and that's where we're at.
So we're getting the exposition way too early, and
yeah,
we're moving the mystery too quick. It was so good at first.
Okay, what do we have in the chat? I was just not the full thing. Okay, yeah, I guess I remember you being there.
Do you think self-insert characters are inherently bad?
No, they're not inherently bad.
Because, I mean, people are interesting. So,
yeah.
I mean, if you insert yourself and you're an interesting person into the story, I mean, it's basically, if a character is written well, they can be interesting no matter who they are. If they're a self-insert or someone else or...
But to me, it's just funny how, like, blatant it is for Ethan just because he
literally, no creativity.
And, like, yeah.
I was like, you know, thinking up a main character, thinking up a name for who cares? Let's just put this for now.
Yeah.
And then I never changed it, so whoops.
Yeah, but there's nothing wrong with, like, putting your own personality or struggles or something into a character. Because that can even make it better if you have a lot of personal experience with a certain, like, character flaw or like personality trait, then it can make it very believable when you write it, but just also put in creativity and make it not just like myself but another person in the story, you know? Shumi says
lean mean machine.
Yeah, it depends on how it's written. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so I think self-insert characters can definitely work. You just have to do it well. That's probably could be said about most things.
Yeah.
Just if you do it well, it can work.
I remember up until the wizard who had been living in his everything is fine fantasy, lol. Yeah, he's out of his fantasy now.
Yeah, we stabbed the boy.
The boy.
The bad boy who was enchanting his mind, I guess. Which, alright, not sure quite how the timeline works on that, because apparently Dragon had like posted that demon to like do something or like maybe wait hold on in that scene with the dragon, didn't it say like the demon was supposed to assassinate the wizard, not just be there enchanting it? Okay, so
I don't know why he didn't do that.
Well, maybe he just got there, maybe this is a very recent thing and there was something else that was causing the wizard to be enchanted.
It's a little complicated.
That is kind of complicated. I'm not sure what the plan was.
Wizard his dog in burning house.
As I said, this is a first draft. I never went back and edited this. I was just kind of writing it linearly, going from beginning to end. So the plan was probably changing as I went, and I never went back to actually change the changed plan and like foreshadow it properly. But I'm sure that there was a more fleshed out plan developing, and I just failed to go back and actually reflect that in the earlier writing. So
I think that you're better at making like full worlds and plots that involve like a whole like kingdom and stuff, whereas I just like to focus on like specific characters and character progression. This has nothing to do with anything, I'm just making observations because like I have characters that I like and would like to write about, but I don't want to make up like an entire plot and everything. So I wish I had that ability. I mean, I guess I have that ability, it just takes a lot of work and I'm like, well, but
I like thinking big picture.
I don't like big picture, I like character arcs and stuff.
I see. I also need to pee. I'll be right back.
I kind of do too, but I will wait because it would be boring if we both left.
Yes, true.
I see, no outline. He probably had a basic idea of what was happening, but I'm sure he was like changing it as it went. Lugie says, how old were you? He was like 16, I think, when he wrote this. Yeah.
It literally says it in the title.
stream.
Oh, yeah, it's true. Ethan said it says it in the title of the stream that he wrote this when he was 16. Teehee. Words. I can't think of a single thing to say now that I'm alone.
That's how I am often.
Yeah, I never wrote anything nearly this long when I was a youngster. Silver says, I'm the same as you, McKay. Characters are where I roll. Yeah, I like characters a lot. And I like writing, like,
Okay, your turn, go
conversations
pee.
between them. Okay.
Now I get to reread all the chat that you read, and I'll be like, wow, let me read this unique chat that I have not seen. And you'll be like, already read it. Aha. In the same as you, McKay, characters are where I roll. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. This is why fanfiction is good. Okay. Potato sauce. Guess I can't continue reading because McKay would be left behind and she would be confused. Confused. It's where you put your confusions. And now I've reached the same point as McKay where I've run out of things to talk about. I'm not sure exactly what to say, but I have approximately 34 seconds left before McKay gets back. Starting now. I enjoy doing the dragon voice, but my throat really hurts now. McKay, I can't write a paragraph, and 16-year-old EJ is here writing entire books. Yeah. I was a wild child. And technically, I don't know if you were around, Loogie, when we read the novel that I wrote when I was 11, but yeah, I wrote one when I was 11 too. It was bad. Really bad. Way worse than this one that we're reading right now. So much worse. Like, there was no redeeming qualities about that one. This one at least has some potential that, you know, could have been revived and turned into something good. Just needs some polishing. The Time Machine one, yes. Oh, that was so bad. Silver says, you can yell the story and then she'd hear. I should, though. McKay! You can hear me?
Yeah, I'm walking towards you.
Oh, she's coming back. Oh, I guess I don't need to yell the story. They suggested I yell the story really loud to, like, keep you updated as we go. Okay, we're back. I think back on that one, and I would like to not. Lol, I'm kidding. Alright.
What are we not looking back on?
Oh, the Time Machine story.
Oh.
It was very bad. No redeeming qualities compared to this one.
No.
Okay, so, Ian.
So...
Quiet, boy, let me finish.
What? Did he just interrupt with... paused with a deep breath.
Paragraph.
Yes, paragraph time.
Oh boy.
I knew that the dragon would take our gold even before we began the rebellion, so I decided to trick the dragon. This trick was my real plan, not the rebellion working. What I did was go to the elves beforehand, which was a long and arduous journey that was totally relevant to say, and there I pleaded for help. The elves refused to help by doing anything themselves because they knew of the dragon's great power.
Which has great responsibility.
But they were kind enough. But they were kind enough to give me some help. They gave me a perfect. Wait.
Not a perfect. Not the perfect.
They gave me perfect.
They gave me perfect emerald heartstone, once owned by a powerful enchantress elf. They also told me how to more efficiently utilize the magical abilities of me and my other few friends.
Magical abilities of me.
Yeah, that's a weird way to say that.
So when I returned to the village and called my friends over, we set the heartstone in a stone disc with an outer ring of gold, then focused deeply and performed an incredibly complex spell that you could not possibly understand, which deals with the crystal structure of the gem, magic, emotion, and other things. Long story short, we put a super powerful curse on the Hearthstone disc and put that disc in the treasure storeroom.
You could have used that one sentence to summarize this entire paragraph.
Yes,
Why
really,
is this necessary?
Once again, this is past EJ thinking through the logic of the backstory and just writing it down, just word vomit on the page. And, you know, it's unnecessary for it to actually exist here, but it's important for me, the writer, to have thought this out so that I can actually know what I'm talking about. And for some reason, I just left it here instead of editing it because I never edited it. Just kind of a rough draft. Sorry. Sorry again. Blah, 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 blah. We put a curse on it, I guess. Woo, it's pretty cool.
Since it was so beautiful and valuable, we knew the dragon would take it, and we were right. When the dragon destroyed the town, my friends and I tried to defend, but all of them died, so it was up to me to be sure the dragon found the disc.
I'm sure he would have found it. It's dragons smell gold, right? They can't get enough of it.
I opened up the hidden vault for the dragon, and then...
Why did they hide the gold if the whole plan was
I don't know.
for him to take it? Okay.
Not suspicious.
And then leaped out of his way when he looked over at me.
Okay, sure.
I'm not sure why he let me go, or if he even saw me, but I was very lucky. Anyway, he took the cursed disc, and as long as it remains in the dragon's treasure heap, in the dragon's immediate proximity, it will continue to suck his life away.
Well, there goes all the mystery.
I don't know if it can kill a dragon, but it will definitely hurt him a bit. Because that disc was cursed with... Oh, never mind. This is the important mystery I would like to keep. But basically, the disc acts like an amplifier or funnel, and it sucks away the life of any living creature near it. If you touch it, you die.
How did you put it there, if that's the way it works?
I don't know.
How did you...
A very long stick.
A very long stick!
If you take the Hearthstone out of the disc, you have a very powerful asset charged with tons of power.
Wait, what? Oh, hold on.
If you touch it, you die, and the disc stores all of the energy it is taking in the Hearthstone, which you can touch without dying. If you take the Hearthstone out of the disc, you have a very powerful asset charged with tons of power. If you keep the Hearthstone in the disc, you have a deadly cursed weapon.
Thanks for the instruction manual on how to make this work. I'm sure Ian will use this in the inevitable fight that I never wrote.
If the dragon ever finds out this fact, he could unplug the Hearthstone and use it to completely restore any damage it did to him by reabsorbing the energy from that Hearthstone back into his own.
Yeah, so just go around telling that to everyone.
Yep, gotta reveal this secret
Yep.
for, just some random
There's
peasant.
no reason you would ever
Why do you even need to tell all this information to
you
Ian?
Literally don't.
Ian, just some random caveman child from your village. Why is any of this
I don't know.
Just say it doesn't matter. Ian says dragon might be dead. You're like, who cares? Let's just
I'm
continue
not going
on
a rant right now.
Yes. Why are you even bothering to send your daughter if you think the dragon might be dead? Why are you not spending your time crafting another one of these discs and saying, hey, dragon, I have a thing for you, and send that with the sacrifice? Just be like, yo, I got a thing for you. Wait, it would kill everyone who touched it. Carrier pigeon. No, they died too. Well, there's gotta be a way.
Luigi said, why is some in bold, lol? Because italicizing it wasn't enough. He had to
Obviously not.
Italicize, underline, and bold.
All of them.
Just so that you make sure you really know that word is emphasized.
For sure.
Wait, who is, Season Cheese?
Oh, hello. Welcome.
Hello.
Sorry, I cannot.
I don't know if I've seen your name before.
Yeah, I can't read. But hello, welcome to the stream.
Hello.
Hope you're having a good day.
Silver says dragon. Sniffs gold. Ah, yes, the economy.
The economy.
Could you stop for just a second? What's a Hearthstone?
Do we really
Ian
need this
asked,
exposition?
interrupting
I just accept it's a magic thing, probably.
Yeah, what do you mean, what's a Hearthstone?
I mean,
Like,
it's a heart stone
it doesn't
of a
sound
dragon.
that complicated.
That's all you need to know. That's all I need to know, and I don't know.
Ian asked, interrupting the eccentric, seemingly unnecessary lesson. Thank you for pointing that out. The wizard seemed to have forgotten what he was doing, and he jumped at
who am
the
I?
interruption. Ian, meanwhile, looked around at the many little fairies that now sat on him.
That's a lot of fairies
He
listening
just
to the story.
attracted-
They're all gonna go like fly
They're
and
gonna
say,
tell the
"Hey, dragon! There's
It's like
some
the
first
White
thing."
Witch. She has spies everywhere.
Oh no, gasp! That's
I mean,
so
if I was a
spooky.
wizard, I probably would think that. I would not want to say this.
I mean,
secret
honestly,
to
yeah, that's a
everyone.
good point. Of course, maybe he's saying it because it would be good for one other person to know in case there's a way to use that secret against the dragon. I don't know, in case he dies.
Maybe
But like,
pick a more secure location than the spooky forest.
yes, agreed. Whatever. This is the spooky forest where there are established to be trolls and goblins and all these sorts of manner of terrible things.
But if the dragon ever found out this secret, we would all die.
Oh yeah, it would be really bad and everyone would be sad. Oh boy. Okay.
Oh, a heartstone is an exceptionally rare gem that has extraordinary uses that can only be found inside the hearts of dragons.
Obviously.
And they are the source of a dragon's magical power. But I guess that's beside the point.
It's also obvious, just from what it's called.
Yeah.
All I wanted to say was that if the dragon hasn't found that... Wait, what? If the dragon hasn't found out that disc's effect and realized how to restore himself, he's being negatively affected by it. For sure. Definitely. 100%. It's definitely not like he dropped that particular piece of treasure in the forest while he was just carrying his giant...
How do dragons transport their gold?
I
Do they
don't know.
eat it and then vomit it back up? Like, how do they What do they do? Do they, like, get a big, like, leather net and just kind of... Let me carry my gold? And
I have no idea.
how do they get it to the pile?
You didn't think that through, Mr. Writer Man?
I didn't. I've never thought about this ever with any dragon. How do they transport the teeny tiny coins? They've got like big old dragon hands and like T-Rex.
I don't
pick up
know.
individual gold coins. And do they lick them up? And
Is this novel from the perspective of the wizard? He seemed to have a lot of dialogue. No, he's just there for exposition.
it's
and,
apparently not from any particular person's perspective because we
Apparently.
had the perspective from the villain, so it's clearly
Yeah.
not just from the hero's perspective.
Uh-huh.
Which is Ian, supposedly, possibly.
Shumi says, "Oh right, the heartstone, the stone found in the heart."
You're right.
Season Cheese says, "Oh yes, the heartstone, like kidney stone." Ew, imagine having a heartstone. That would hurt so bad.
I mean, yeah, every beat of your heart just causes you pain.
Ouch. The stone
Yikes.
found in the heart of the dragon. It's the dragon's heartstone.
It's the dragon heartstone. That's the wrong song. I meant to say Eye of the Tiger. But whoops. Okay. Whatever.
So you aren't scared of being caught? Ian
By
asks
people
as
listening.
He finally lost patience with the annoying fairies. So he, so he stood to shake them off.
Full body shake.
Started shaking.
No, I'm sure if the dragon knew it was me that gave him accursed treasure, I'd already be dead. And if the dragon hasn't found out so far, he probably won't anytime soon. Totally
Well,
not, definitely.
alrighty.
No chance of that happening right as I'm speaking at this particular exact moment.
Luigi says, "What is the title of the story EJ wanted?" Well, you
The
either got
Quest?
the quest
I don't
or broken.
I don't think I had an official title. Obviously, the placeholder titles I have are just fantastic.
Oh,
Look
yeah.
at this broken
Really, really good.
incompatibility mode. The Quest, nah, not feeling it.
Nope. How do you know he hasn't already tried to punish you, but he's just been too weak to do
Ooh!
it himself?
Wow.
It was a demon attack, and your daughter. Ian looked at the ground again. It's
No,
another fairy.
the dragon
landed on his
definitely wasn't
foot.
responsible for the daughter being voted by everyone
Yeah.
who hates her. The fairy laid on his foot. I want to know what these fairies look like. Do they look like little butterfly creatures, or do they look like
Little pixies.
yeah,
or-
like Tinkerbell, just like sitting, chilling?
I don't think those were because of the trick. I think the demon was because I've been defending the village from trolls, and the villagers themselves elected Ia.
Don't remind me,
Mhm.
Ian replied sadly. Then he looked up in surprise. No, wait. Thanks for reminding me. I've got to catch that troll.
Bruh.
He yelled, beginning to dash.
How long it was nighttime when you were running, and now it's morning. He is long
Oh, you're gonna
gone.
die,
You
sir.
probably wouldn't be able to catch up with that troll if you sprinted like for hours on end previously, and now you're even more behind. You gotta sprint for like a week straight, my dude. You're going to die of lung failure.
Boy.
Your legs will fall off by the time you catch that troll.
No, wait, stop!
The wizard yelled, waving his staff. A small vine sprang up from the ground and wrapped itself around Ian's ankle. Is the fairy still on his foot? As he passed, tripping him, and he fell forward onto the grass, where he was swarmed by hyper fairies. Oh no, they're going to eat my face. His face. Not me. Definitely not a self-insert. When he looked up, the wizard was in front of him.
I won't let you do this.
You have to. Look, if your curse thing is working, maybe another rebellion isn't such a bad idea.
No, don't.
Stop it! Ian yelled. Stop shutting me down! Every time I finally figure out what to do, you blast me into a million pieces.
Me?
Just let me do this. I can't even let the collecting troll live to give his report on how he was robbed of his cargo by someone on the road. And that wasn't the village's fault, Ian pleaded. I've thought this through, believe me.
Ian, I don't know.
I'm not turning back. If you don't let me go, Ian warned, drawing his knife.
I am a freaking wizard. What is a knife going to do to me?
Loki be like,
You're planning on killing me?
no, not you, Ian replied.
Yourself?
I have nothing to live for. I've long since given up
Edgy.
doing things for myself, seeking happiness for myself, and trying to succeed for myself. Everything I do is to help others and make others happy, because that's the only way I ever feel like I'm truly accomplishing something. But now the one time I ask for something in return, for all the people I go out of my way to serve, I get no help back. And even this thing I'm trying to do is not for myself. I'm trying to begin the end of the dragon's rule to save them from his oppressive rule. That was the word rule twice, but okay. And saving Ia is just a small part of that plan. All my life I have served to be a fraction of the people in this world. It's time I helped all of them in a bigger way, Ian yelled, staring boldly at the wizard who stood in confusion. The wizard shook his head.
You didn't even ask for help. You can't expect them to aid you if they don't know your need. But I suppose you were right. To not even ask, they wouldn't have helped. And I wouldn't have allowed it.
The wizard cocked his head.
But this is an interesting attitude you have.
Suicidal?
Certainly different from the more selfish attitudes of the rest of the people of the world. You seem to have a passion.
Well, if you're not suicidal, you're selfish.
You seem to have a
What?
That's just what I'm gathering.
Improper logic.
Sir, blah blah. You seem to have a passion. Blah, blah. You seem to have a passion for putting the needs of others before your own, and for taking responsibility and doing what you think needs to be done.
Thank you for spelling that out.
That is the quality of a leader.
Okay,
Thanks.
sure.
I agree with your assessment of the dragon's rule. We need to change things before it is too late for the human race.
The wizard paced back and forth for a moment, thinking as Ian stood back up and shooed away the fairies, who are just apparently omnipresent.
Just obsessed
They
with
really,
him for some reason.
I don't know what they want.
I'm
They're
half
just,
expecting them to just like attack him. And
yeah,
just kill him.
I wasn't sure. I thought he was dead. I thought they were gonna like sink their tiny fangs into him when
Yeah,
they
it
just
seems a
swarmed
little
him.
bit ominous.
Yeah, why are they not going after the wizard? Are they like messing with his beard? Is there a tiny man sitting in the wizard's beard? Sorry, that made me laugh too much. Blah blah blah. Something. Shoot away the fairies. There was a long pause.
I may not be willing to allow our entire village to rise up yet, but I'm willing to help you.
Willing to help
You!
It could be fun if you did a rewrite of this story for a future stream. It would be, but writing takes a long time, maybe. I don't know. I did want to reuse at least some of these elements, like overall. Well, I don't want to give too much away, but I had an idea for a show that I was writing in a different reimagined theme style, but with not even really based off this. Just a couple of cherry-picked plot elements that
I see.
I don't know. It's kind of actually diverging even more and more the more I think about it. So maybe it's not really based off this at all. But yeah, okay, maybe you have a point. I don't know. Will I ever do it? Probably not. It takes effort and time.
You!
Louis says.
Oh yeah, sorry. There's more.
The quest. I can literally call any story the quest. Lol.
I know.
Yeah, every story that has a plot can be called the quest. Z's and Cheese says, are there any non-dialogue sections, like longer ones? I love
I'm
that you
sure.
have voices for everyone. Yeah, there's been sections that are like not just entirely dialogue, but we're in just a very dialogue-heavy place
We
right
haven't
now.
really had any action yet. It's been mostly either introspection or conversation.
True. Hopefully the fight scenes are not like the ones in the time travel story.
Yeah.
That was painful.
I don't know if there are fight scenes in this yet. I don't remember if I got to any. I think
But
maybe.
those were tedious, so I prefer.
Oh yeah, the ones in the time machine store were terrible.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk about those.
I used my giant muscles to eat
yes.
giant rock off of my body.
Yes, I time traveled again and then did cool things and then you did other things. Woo.
Shuri says, this is like Zuko on steroids. It
Mhm.
literally is. You've never held back before!
You are my new favorite randos
Aw.
Twitch chat person at Shroomy. That's great.
Silver says, oh dear, this is the difference between a Mary Sue and an actual character. An actual good character would never say all those things. It's usually inferred through writing and the character themselves are not aware of it, lol.
Mhm.
Yeah, typically characters that are feeling like suicidal and like they have nothing to live for don't go around shouting, I
Yeah.
am suicidal and have nothing to live for. Typically, that is not what happens. But, you know, I guess he's trying to make a point and be like, I am so selfless and heroic right now.
Yes, he's so cool.
Yeah.
Was
the show going to be called The Quest Heartstones Come from Dragons?
It's like a screenplay. Where are your costumes? Well, we'd have to keep changing them because, you know, I've been the voice of a dragon, old hobgoblin, and a wizard so far. So, a lot of old people, actually.
Yeah.
I am deeply discontent.
I am deeply discontent.
Was the show going to be called The Quest Heartstones Come from Dragons?
Yes,
It's an anatomy lesson on dragons, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Where are we? Really? How? Ian asked.
If you're going to fight the dragon completely alone, then I will make sure it's not completely alone, I guess. I'm not quite sure how it's still going to be completely alone if I'm helping, but okay. Then I'd like to teach you a few things about magic first. You can use magic to signal me about how things go.
Okay. Send up
I'm
red
gonna teach
sparks
you-
if you're in trouble.
I'm gonna teach you magic. Go have fun fighting the dragon. Let me know how it goes.
Yeah.
Text me when you die. LOL skull emoji, I'm dead. Fire emoji. Ouch.
I love that.
I was too late to save Ia. Rip. Sad face emoji.
Broken heart emoji. Oh my gosh.
Bag of hats, quick costume changes. Oh no, we used to have a Twitch thing where you could redeem channel points to make us put on hats, but
Oh boy.
yeah, we got tired of doing that too many times.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Also, by the way, if you're saying that you like Shroomy being around, Shroomy often is here for our streams because he's one of our friends. So I mean, if you want to see more of him, come by streams every week.
Yeah,
every
come
week
for
at this
Shroomy, not
day.
for us.
Yeah, for sure, of course. Nobody watches for us. Definitely not for me, at least.
Oof.
I forgot. Darth Vader arrives.
Okay.
So let me know how things go.
And then maybe we'll begin a revolution.
The wizard replied conversationally.
Come with me.
Okay.
We have about a month before Ea reaches the Dragon's Mountain. During that time, we will be training in the ways of magic with the elves.
Elves? But that's ages away from here. Shouldn't we save Ea first, then go train?
Teleportation is awesome. Sorry. We don't want to alert the dragon to any hint of rebellion prematurely.
He's so unconcerned about his child, but okay.
My child is irrelevant. I've been living in a fantasy world and I have drugs.
My child is irrelevant.
No one has ever saved a sacrifice before, so that would definitely let him know that the way people view his power is changing. What the
Good
clunkiest
sentence.
sentencing. Then, if he didn't punish somebody, people would realize that they can get away with stuff, and the dragon's rule would be in trouble. I'm not sure.
Get away with stuff.
Are you okay, Mr. Wizard Man? You seem to be.
Losing it.
Yeah, he's like, whoa.
So the dragon would definitely retaliate violently. So, no, we need to prepare first, then rebel. I hope you're a fast learner, because this will be cutting things a little close.
You don't know me, do you? I'm a very quick learner. I learned how to do
Spoiler,
every
he is not good
blacksmith
at magic.
thing ever when I was a kid. And that's how I chopped off.
That's how I chopped off the blacksmith's foot! I see you're a very quick learner and very effective too.
Shrimpy says, no, I am just viewer.
Oh.
Silver says, listen, if I had good, consistent Wi-Fi, I would be here way more.
Oh.
Twitch hates my internet.
I am
Oh,
sorry, I'm
that is
sorry.
sad.
Do not put it on the lowest possible quality setting.
We are blobs.
Blob, blob, blob.
Pixel. 2
Pixel.
pixels.
Yes. We don't have 2 pixels to rub together.
Season Cheese says, I think I was part of a raid once a while back. I don't have
Oh,
much downtime
gotcha.
lately, but I like to support when I can, and I like you have unique content.
Oh,
Thank you.
Thank you. That's
That is
nice. Of you. I
nice.
appreciate.
Oh, more chat keeps coming. Twitch also hates my internet. Oh, that is rudeness. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I feel you on that because I personally am not even really a stream watcher. I can't watch it. It doesn't hold my attention as much as like a highly edited video.
I like it
So-
for background noise though if I'm doing something.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't even watch my own streams if I was a viewer instead of on the other side of the camera. I probably wouldn't watch my own streams, which is really sad, but that's just apparently how I am. You are making wind and it is cold and I do not appreciate.
Okay.
Okay, you can keep doing it. I'm sorry, I'll just be
Wind.
cold.
This is oversized. I like my floppy arms.
Look at these noodle arms. Not with magic, I'll bet, the wizard replied with a wink. Let me teach you some things right now. See where you are, the wizard said, turning around while twirling his staff.
Will this involve... Ian was cut off as the wizard whirled, hurling a dagger at Ian's face.
What the frick? Oh no! Point first!
If I had a quarter for every time a dagger was hurled at my face,
I'd have
2
two
nickels, and which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. Sorry, I couldn't remember if it was quarters or nickels, and I said the wrong one, but it's fine.
That's funny.
Whoa! Ian yelled, ducking and drawing his own knife. The knife sailed over his head and stuck into a tree as Ian pointed his
Holy
father's
cow.
knife at the wizard.
That's not how you train any student, my dude.
I believe in learning on the job.
Gee, thanks, Copper.
The wizard stood there, scowling.
Well, it would appear that you have failed your first test.
The wizard commented.
What is he
What
supposed
do
to
you
do?
mean? Is he supposed to get
You
stabbed?
gave him no instructions.
What do you mean? Ian glared suspiciously at the wizard.
If you are going to become my student and learn a bit of magic to help you defend yourself, you're going to need to trust your
Was
teacher.
it an imaginary
wizard
dagger?
announced.
It would have sailed through his
Oh
face.
no. I mean, maybe. I don't know.
Because I don't know what else he could possibly mean by
Well,
you need to trust your teacher. Like, he's supposed to just stand there and
Fair.
get stabbed? What?
Okay, well, didn't it stick into a tree? So clearly it wasn't imaginary, right? I don't know.
I don't know how that works. I'm confused. Ruby says, my internet would be bad too if I lived in a made-up place called Canada. Wow. Yes to floppy sleeves. See, Z's and Cheese appreciates me.
You underestimate how bad my bandwidth truly is. Oh, rip. Big self-promotion here. Yes, I wouldn't even watch my own streams. That's more of a statement about my attention span than it is about my content, though.
That.
Yeah, I just don't watch any streams.
I don't very often. I used to, and then I don't know why I just kind of stopped. But I do like long form videos. Like if I see a YouTube video that's under like a half an hour, I probably won't watch it. I like things that are
I only want to waste maximum time.
because I like to have it on while I'm like doing other things, and like I don't like having to switch it off or like switch what I'm watching, and like I don't know. I just like things that are very long because then I can just vibe, you know. Anyway. Sorry, I'm just not a trusting kind of person. There's
I'm
only
not like
one
other
person
boys.
on earth I trust, and
Bruh.
even with that person, if he or she threw a knife at my face,
Ambiguous.
because you definitely don't know who he's talking about, I'd still try to dodge. What was I supposed to do? Let it slice the other side of my face open? My father has trained me to always be wary of everyone and never be caught off guard.
Gee, thanks for the exposition.
Yeah, we love that.
We definitely
'Cause
did not know that
people
your
who are
dad threw a knife at
traumatized just
your
go
face.
around saying, "My father threw a knife at my face. Do you want to hear about my trauma?"
You must learn to trust certain people, especially if you're ever planning on leading a rebellion. I was hoping that you'd trust me enough to believe
that I'd stop the blade with magic before it reached you. You still threw a knife in his face!
He
What
had
do you
1
mean?
second to consider this. He's not just gonna be like, I bet.
That literally
people
fight or
say
flight.
things.
There's no thought involved with going, I'm about to die, and dodging.
What the
there's
frick?
no, this is a wizard, he's probably not gonna kill me. You'd be dead. Why? Your brain is hardwired to say, I'm in danger, let me do something immediately, before it literally bypasses that part of your brain of making decisions because you need to, or you'll die.
Wizard, you are wildin', and I don't think that you're great.
What is this wizard doing? He needs help. Sorry.
Well, I'm not entirely sure that I'm talking... What? Well, I'm still not entirely sure that I'm talking to you and not some apparition of the forest, he retorted hotly. The wizard sighed.
You rely too much on yourself. We have some work to do.
Well, nobody else has ever been there for me to rely on, so you can't really blame me, Ian responded sullenly, lowering his knife. The wizard then got a better look at the knife in Ian's hand.
Bruh.
Oh my, that knife! It can help you greatly. It has magic properties. Your father may have been an amateur magician.
Well, that felt like it came out of nowhere. That
Yeah,
was kind of weird.
okay, sure, why not? Thanks.
Magician? My father? Ian laughed. He grinned at the wizard, who was not amused.
Very well. I suppose I'd better explain how magic works, first of
Oh
all.
boy, more exposition!
Yay, I love
Woo!
long-winded lessons about things that are kind of irrelevant right now and won't even matter because Ian's not good at magic and literally cannot do it. But,
I've
okay.
already heard the story. Ian cut him off. The wizard
Story?
pursed his
There's a
lips.
story? What story? I don't know the
How is
story.
there a story of how magic works?
I don't know. The magic potato that granted the magic to all people. I don't know.
But do you know how magic works?
No,
The wizard challenged. Ian closed his mouth.
As you know, back in the beginning, God created the heavens and the
I
earth.
was watching a video on the Avatar movie, not that Avatar movie, the Last Airbender movie, and it was talking about how like one of the worst ways to give exposition is to start with "as you know," because that just it's just telling you that it's only there for the audience's benefit. Because why would you ever say "as you know" blah 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 if the character already knows? So like that's just kind of silly. So that's why that caught my attention, because now I've been trained to look for that.
Yeah. Don't think that fixed the quality. Wait, hold on. Please have no reaction time and get hurt at all.
Cost to show that you're tough. One does not simply do magic.
Wait, what? Just sign up as a business? What's happening? Oh, talking about the internet. Gotcha. I see. Internet's good here in Australia. What? I heard that there was like bad political decisions that resulted in horrible infrastructure being built that slowed it down. Oh well, I guess some places are quicker. And gestures and waving arms. One does not simply do that.
Oh yeah, because that's how they did magic in the other story. Just gesture.
Oh. Gotcha. Smart hubs. I don't know what that is.
I don't either.
Cool. As you know.
As you know.
Back in the beginning, when mankind was first born from the dirt of their homeland, they were smarter, stronger, and more powerful with magical abilities.
Okay. I don't know that, but okay.
Thank you for the exposition.
They were almost as perfect beings as the elves were.
Oh, cool. Sure,
okay.
if you say so.
But then, when they first arrived in this land, they stubbed their toes and became bad.
Sorry.
They were confronted by the forest's inhabitants, who were not pleased with the way mankind was destroying parts of the forest to make their home.
I thought you said they were almost perfect in every way. How could they be so bad?
Well, they are not super EJ.
Mankind agreed to a test that would...
What? Okay, so the forest inhabitants were not happy, and mankind agreed to a test that would allow them to stay. Like a challenge. They were challenged by the squirrels and chipmunks of the forest. They were like, hey, if you can eat, or if you can shove more nuts in your cheeks than I can, then you get to stay.
But they were tempted and tricked by a horrid hobgoblin leader who had evil in his heart. The elves then cursed man because of their failure to pass the test.
What? I thought the test was to see if they could stay, not to see if they would be cursed. What's happening?
And because of their insistence upon staying against their word, even after they had failed the test.
well, it sounds like there was some cheating involved anyway. I'm kind of generally confused about what's happening here. Why is this backstory relevant to
I don't
how
know,
magic
but
works?
as you know, all of this happened.
As you know, once again, this was how men became the selfish, weak, non-magical creatures that they are today.
Okay,
Cool.
sure. This was entirely irrelevant. We could have just said humans aren't magic. And then I would have accepted it. That's fine. I mean, sure,
Yeah,
back in the
that's
day,
kind of
maybe
the
they were,
basis
and then they
for-
started not being that way. I don't care how it got to be that way. Just tell me what's happening now. Anyway.
After this fall, however, an elf came down from on high in heaven, and tried to help men in their helpless state.
Oh wait, is this literally just? Oh no, it's an allegory. This is just a ham-fisted allegory. That's why it's literally okay. So the fall of man, and then Jesus came down.
Boy.
Oh no, what's happening, bruh? Oh no, it's so bad.
Right.
Why is this here? I mean, I appreciate the effort and the attempt, but bad
At least
execution.
you're not going back to Jerusalem this time. and
That's
helping
true.
Jesus with his miracles.
Oh no! Literally taking Jesus.
Oh gosh.
Oh no.
This is a step up from that.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for everything I've ever written. Okay, so an elf came down and tried to help their men in their helpless state, but many refused his help due to their prideful self-reliance, like yours, frickin' Ian. But to those who accepted his help, the elf reopened the ability of man to use magic. Sure, I'm not sure how this happened. Oh, he did this by taking their curse upon himself and sacrificing himself to break their curse forever. If only they would choose him. That doesn't. What does that even mean in this context?
I don't know.
By his own choice, he performed a spell to undo the curse of man with his own death, and now his spirit still helps men become free of this curse, and I can't read anymore. My buffer has been exceeded, and have access to great magical power. Sorry, I inhaled dust. So, if you do indeed know this story, I didn't, but
Thank you
okay.
for that.
Then you should know.
If you believe God's love is true, then you should know what you should do. Do you need to get out, Luna?
He's
Is it
looking
sad?
a little
He's like,
suspicious.
I'm sniffing the door. It won't open.
Here, let's shove it open.
So if you do indeed know this story, then you should know that the only way to ultimate freedom from the curse comes through accepting that sacrifice.
This is really
Oh, that's
just
so
awful.
bad.
This paragraph needs to be deleted.
That's horrible.
And that is how men are able to
What?
use magic, because of him.
How does that even...
This doesn't even answer the question about how magic works. It literally did not have anything to do with that.
How does an elf dying
I
have
don't
anything
know.
to do with
Ian stared at the wizard suspiciously. Okay, gee, thanks.
That was really bad.
I don't remember this being here at all. I honestly thought that there was other things that were going to
I
explain
love just-
how magic worked, but okay,
Just
that's what
shoving
happened
some
instead.
allegory in there, completely
Like
unrelated.
I said, rough draft, never edited. That was
I apologize.
I
to
mean,
everyone
obviously,
for that.
the gospel is a good story. In real life, it's better. This was an abomination. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
if you're gonna do biblical allegory, make it
Make it
actually
decent.
relevant to
Ugh.
the story, like Chronicles of Narnia or something, not just like, as you know, there was a random elf that decided to die to give people magic because reasons. That's
No.
definitely relevant.
No, thanks. I'm good. That's
so,
fine.
like, you could have. I mean, I don't know. It probably would have
Okay,
been
so
worse,
everyone who can use magic is a Christian now, I guess.
but you must become a Christian and use magic.
That sounds counterproductive anyway, but sure, why not?
Yeah, that's a little yikes. You could have like if you really wanted to, this probably would have been really bad as well. But you could have even like made Ian some sort of Christ figure because he's gonna go like sacrifice himself. Because,
That would have
like,
been a better idea.
Because everyone
That
is
would've
in a
been a better
terrible
idea.
place and Ian's being taken to die, and he could have all been like, "No, take me instead, for I will sacrifice myself." Oh, and then I don't know what would have happened. But at least that would have been part of the story and not just like some random thing that happened that the wizard is telling you about for no apparent reason.
Truth.
Yeah.
With an F.
But Z's and Cheese cheered 100 bits. Wow!
Oh,
With
cool.
the little melting snowman
I forgot
emoji.
that could even
I
happen.
think-
Thank you. That's very nice of you.
Thank you.
Yay.
TJ
TJ, he doesn't understand.
says, because every fantasy story needs an elaborate
I'm
explanation
glad I
of its
got that
magic system,
magic.
apparently. I'm glad I got the magic license right after I got saved.
I know.
Yeah, like, I didn't know why I was randomly making objects float, but now I
Don't
do.
question that, Silver. Shush. I realized after I was saying it that was not a good thing to say, but
I didn't notice until I
that's
saw
how
Silver's
chipmunks
comment.
work.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Nice.
I burp.
Weird. I think my dad told me about that at one point, and I believed it, but I'd since forgotten about it, and I've never used magic or anything.
Gee, thanks.
My dad never had time for me, and he never bothered to try teaching me magic. He never taught me anything except to be edgy and
And
to
how
not
to
trust
have your
people,
face get
and how
stabbed.
to, get stabbed in the face and stuff. I've had to figure out how to be a man completely on my own.
And you failed
My
miserably. Sorry.
But my parents could have helped me. I guess this elf guy's already helped me more than they did. Literally how?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. So, why would... Oh, gosh.
Can we...
Why would anyone reject that free gift of awesome powers and freedom from a curse, Ian asked? I'm gonna die.
Please, do we have to read it?
Yes, we have to.
Because most people are either stupid or proud enough to not think they need any help, or they just... I'm buffering again. Wizard stroke. They just never hear this message entirely. Some people accept him but never do anything more with him and are too lazy to learn or do more, while others don't even accept him at all. It would be great to spread the word as much as possible if you want a powerful army to face the dragon with. Okay,
Why
well,
is this
interesting.
becoming like a religious...
This is a crusade. I'm confused.
It is.
I'm concerned.
And, like,
Luckily, I
there's
think it
such-
gets dropped immediately, right? Probably.
Probably. It seems like it would.
Oh.
Because there's just so little detail about the story. Like, I still don't know anything about this elf man or why he wanted to help people or how his death even helped anyone at all. Or how believing that he existed
It's a
would help anything.
I didn't realize yet that this was a terrible idea. Even though I did in the other, like in the Time Machine story, I had something similar like this, like a very obvious allegory, and I read it in the editing process. I read it back and was like, yeah, backspace. Even as an 11-year-old, I realized this. Why did I do it again for 16 when I was 16? Am I really that dumb?
I don't know.
Oh well. I mean, I appreciate the effort, like wanting to show the love of Jesus in everything I do, whether it's a form of media or just like vibing on a live stream or whatever. But
you just call
making a
people
terrible story that just does not have any shame in like a terrible adaptation doesn't make any sense. It just is uncomfortable.
And calling people stupid for not believing in some elf that you know two details about.
Yep, for sure. Whoop-de-doo. Sorry, everyone. EA
Yes.
Ventex.
Yeah,
An
do.
EA Vent, yes.
Sounds like an ungrateful attitude. Oh wait, your dad taught you about magic and knife skills? Sounds like an ungrateful attitude.
Daddy issues, says Luki.
He has daddy issues.
Oh no.
Teen angst story? Does Ian have a side fringe and black painted nails?
Wouldn't
Probably.
put it past him.
Probably does. He
Just
pulls
dirt
a
under his
Spider-Man and just pulls out his little legs.
Double the price.
I'm gonna put some dirt in there. Look, I'm not planning on having an entire army of humans march in the Dragon's Mountain
I
just
have an
yet,
army.
Ian replied.
We have the Hulk.
Well, that is what it might come down to eventually, so be ready.
So what can this knife do? Ian asked, looking down at the blade in his hand.
Stab things, but magic.
Yeah.
I think it would be more entertaining for you to find that out for
That would
yourself.
have been applying to this entire book, Mr. Exposition.
Ho ho ho, that's stupid. I don't believe in that.
The only thing he doesn't tell us about this is knife.
The wizard smiled as he stepped closer to examine the blade.
Yeah, it would be very entertaining if I magically incinerate this rabbit I'm trying to skin.
Oh, don't be silly. You can't accidentally misuse it. It will only act differently from an ordinary knife if you or someone or something else acts upon it intentionally.
What?
That was very oddly specific and very confusingly worded. Help! My brain has short-circuited. Oh, Zen's gotta go. See ya. Have a good
Thank
one.
you for joining.
Or Z's
and
I
cheese.
can't even read that.
I think
I'm
that's how
sorry.
you say it, Z's and cheese.
Yeah, of course. Hope to see you again sometime.
Hope
Bye.
to see you again sometime.
I can't even English.
Well, that's good to know. So what can
You're
I
good
do?
to know.
It's also good to know about a weird elf man.
To be honest, I don't know. I lied about knowing what it did. I lied about being able to explain it. Oh,
Sorry.
You are boop.
The wizard replied sheepishly.
ask the elves. They're more skilled than I.
Didn't he say, would you like to know what that does or something? Oh, maybe he asked.
I don't
Okay.
know.
Gotcha, okay. Entertaining. That's not the kind of thing you would... This is the kind of thing you'd say if you knew.
Yeah.
Why would you say... Okay.
You're a little weird.
Ask the elves. They are more skilled than I. All I can tell you is what those elvish markings on the blade say. The runes read this way,
The wizard said, running his finger along the blade and cutting it and murdering himself.
and they give the message, divide and conquer.
Okay.
Is this another supposed to be symbolic thing? Okay.
Perhaps you are to divide the dragon from the trolls.
It's just a knife, dude. Is it really supposed... Okay.
The trolls from the goblins from each other, and weaken and destroy all evil in the world.
That is some lofty goals. It's just a knife.
Yeah,
you didn't
the
know...
knife just has a cool phrase on it. You don't have
doesn't-
to take it that seriously.
It literally can divide things and conquer them at the same time. I think that's as deep as it goes. Well, I mean, as deep as it goes into the enemy. I just calm down a little bit there, wizard man.
Yeah.
Of course, that is a lot to hope for, but somebody needs to do it someday. Ia tells me you are a great thinker with your thinky
Oh,
brain.
boy.
Perhaps you can use that brain of yours, that big brain of yours, to reason with others.
Okay.
And get them to join you in your quest to destroy that dragon once and for all.
I think Ian just thinks every other person is just so stupid, and he's the only person that's like has
Of course, he's a teenager. Every teenager thinks that they know everything, probably.
Really, he's like, nobody has ever thought of standing up to the dragon. I'm just gonna tell them things, and they're gonna
Boys,
join me.
what if we didn't just take this abuse? What if we did something about it?
Oh my gosh, you're right.
Wow,
Let's do it.
like we just have been
Oh, he's
sitting
right.
here. Wow!
They're bonding. That is my plan, but it'll take a miracle.
Think
He
it'll work.
responded, sheathing his knife.
My nose itches from the cat fur. Oh,
Oh,
he still
no.
got me.
Well, then use magic to make that miracle happen. If you believed what your father told you at one point, then you have been
Freed from the curse forever.
Oh boy.
Perhaps you have already been using magic unintentionally.
That's doubtful.
Let go of your hate!
That's not gonna happen.
Your deepest feelings of unrest!
Definitely not gonna happen.
They may be the reason for the many misfortunes around you.
What do you mean, good sir?
What is
Perhaps you
happening?
blame the world for your sorrow, so you inadvertently use magic to hurt the world around you, and it happens to affect those closest to you.
The wizard theorized. Ian's heart drops into his shoes with a sickening thud.
Where did the wizard get all of this? He's just like literally grasping at straws, just
You
making things
don't
up.
even know this caveman, and
Yeah,
you
what
have
are you
just
talking
like
about?
implied that he is a jinx.
Because you definitely know all the bad things that have happened. You definitely know that he feels like a jinx. You definitely... Okay, you're...
I thank you, therapist, for being a terrible therapist.
You're a terrible therapist. You mean I actually could be the cause of my parents' death, Marvel's accident,
Probably
your
not.
wife's death, Ia? Ian trailed off.
Calm down.
I always
This
felt
wizard has no
responsible.
idea what he's talking about.
He really doesn't. Don't trust anything he does.
Just chillax.
I always felt responsible because of the unusual pattern of bad luck around me.
I don't think that, this is actually even the case, but okay, sure, why not? I don't know. The writer does not know anymore what happened in his past.
I was just thinking, it may be completely untrue, but it is not good to dwell in the past and feel sorrow continually. That's why I immediately forgot about my wife and child dying. Remember, what's past is past and cannot be changed. The future is affected mainly by other future factors.
What the frick does that mean?
It means don't worry about the future because the future will affect itself.
Future factors.
I don't know. All you can decide is what you will do with the present. So live in the moment, make the most of it, and try to be happy in whatever you do, okay?
Wait,
Okay.
the wizard asked gently, patting Ian's shoulder. Ian looked at his shoes and nodded slowly, still doing his best to mask his emotions. There was a long silence before the wizard again spoke.
I think you should go back to the site of your parents' death.
Okay, why though?
Perhaps it will help you let go at last.
I don't know. He woke up there at the beginning of this book. I'm not sure. I mean, okay. He held out his hand.
Hold on tightly. We're transporting with magic because my strength is failing me.
Your
So you
strength is
can
failing you,
tell.
so you will use magic instead of walking. Which one takes more effort here?
I don't know.
Walking or magic? I would think magic probably takes more energy to, like, poof, warp through time and space. But no, I don't want to walk. That takes effort. Okay.
What was I gonna say?
Ooh, dragons!
Oh
Dragon
boy!
chapter! Oh boy!
I was gonna say, like, where'd it go? Oh yeah. Yeah, these themes are being very in your face. There's not a lot of subtlety with, like, the themes of letting go of your past and everything.
Let your past die. Kill it
The
if you have
wizard
to.
just says, you should let go of your past, and...
Because clearly it's causing you to become a violent psychopath accidentally with magic that murders.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have, like, some subtext instead of the wizard just saying absolutely everything. The wizard is
This wizard is kind of the source of all problems.
Yeah, the wizard character just kind of makes everything go wrong. Silver says, I'm playing Animal Crossing. One of my villagers, Poncho, just waltzed into my house and decided he wanted to visit. I get scared.
I want waffle rice.
What are you doing in my house? Yeah, it was funny because a couple streams ago, before I reset my island, Ethan and I formed a cult and we sacrificed Zucker, and then when I started playing the next day, Zucker just came into my house, and that was the first time any villager had ever done that, and he was just like, hey, are you here? And I was like, why are you in my house? Are you here for revenge?
He knew what you did.
He was just in my house for a while, and I was like, oh, I'm so uncomfortable right now. And so it's just kind of triggering whenever a villager decides to visit my house. I'm like, please do not, like, kill me where there's no witnesses. Shumi says, you have Animal Crossing. Yeah. I think I still have my online subscription, maybe, just because I think I forgot to, like, cancel it, and so it automatically renewed several months ago, but I don't know how long it lasts or anything. But yeah, I did reset my island. Silver, Cactopus, Luigi, and I all reset our islands together, and I'm having a lot more fun with it because now I'm not as overwhelmed with, like, I don't know, because I tried to have a theme the first time and then it didn't work out, and then I just got stressed because there was, like, too much to do, but now I feel better, and so I'm having more fun with it. Yeah.
The dragon's hobgoblin messenger ran through the underground corridors of the dragon's mountain in a panicked frenzy. He was in big trouble. He dashed as fast as his little legs could carry him as he sped along the many passages that snaked through the ground. It was easy to get lost in these tunnels if one did not have an perfect recollection. Even the spell checker knows that's wrong. Have an perfect recollection of every passageway in this stone maze, as he did. The chubby hobgoblin dived and slid beneath a table that was being carried across the passage by two goblins. Why are they carrying tables? Then leaped back to his feet and scrambled to continue fleeing as quickly as possible. Fleeing what? He had accidentally bumped into a grumpy troll as he ran and received an annoyed growl as he kept running. Oh, me. Oh, wait.
Is this me?
I'm sure. I mean, it doesn't matter.
Is it the same messenger or a different messenger?
You know, it might be. I don't know. Sure, why not?
Oh, why me? Why is it always me?
The hobgoblin asked himself. He was running directly to his doom. Even though he was only a messenger, the dragon always took out his anger on whoever gave him the news he didn't like. The hobgoblins who were appointed to this position rarely survived for longer than a week. Luckily, the current messenger had managed to escape execution for an entire month. Which is him, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Had managed to escape execution for an entire month. His big mouth had made him an excellent information conveyor.
Okay.
What does that mean? Big mouth as in lets loose secrets easily, or
actually big mouth? I don't know.
I'm confused. Unfortunately, this trait had now resulted in disaster. The hobgoblin had accidentally let slip the fact that the dragon had not intended him to hear.
Okay.
What?
Cool.
Okay, so what? The hobgoblin messenger. That's the guy that we are listening to. But the current messenger,
which is him,
the hobgoblin had accidentally let slip the fact that the dragon had not intended him to hear. How the hobgoblin let slip a fact the dragon had not intended him who is speaking to hear. What? I'm confused. I'm breaking myself in my confusion.
I think I know what it's saying. It's just worded really bad.
And the news had spread like wildfire.
So he heard something that the dragon didn't intend for him to hear, and then he accidentally told someone else, and now the news is spread, and now he's like, oh shoot, I'm gonna get toasted like a friggin' shish kebab, so he's running away.
Okay, sure.
I think that's what's going on.
I'm assuming it was probably something about how he's old.
Probably.
The dragon found out several minutes ago, judging by the menacing roar and enraged smashing of things heard by everyone in the mountain. He had already killed several goblins that had been gossiping about it at the wrong time, and the messenger knew that he would be killed as soon as he was finished giving his report, if not before, because the dragon knew that he was the only one other than Rebecca who had heard the dragon's real name in the meeting. Oh! If the messenger didn't give an extremely favorable report, he was dead for sure.
Finally, the messenger reached his destination, the dragon's personal room inside the mountain. The dragon spent most of his time either here or in the treasure room, and since Rebecca and his helpers had been at the treasure room for most of the day while searching for the cursed treasure, the dragon had to be in his chamber. The messenger swallowed hard upon observing the scorch marks around the door and noticing the trickle of smoke that spilled from the door to the chamber. The dragon was not happy, and the messenger knew precisely why. The messenger took a deep breath to slow his hyperventilation, then pulled open the stone door to the chamber, which ground slightly as it opened and closed behind him. The messenger closed his eyes in fear as he took several tentative steps into the room. His feet trampled the ashes and charred bones of what must have been a former associate of his. I bring a report from Master Rebecca! The messenger called out with as much volume as he could muster. His terror was obvious, shown by the way his hands trembled as they clutched the parchment. There was silence of several seconds before the messenger dared to open one eye and peek in front of him. He gasped at the sight of his own ugly reflection.
Bruh.
He called himself ugly. In the silver and gold mixed metal surface before him. The messenger cautiously looked up, finding 3 large fingers with large claws coated with the same metal as the rest of the dragon's new glove.
I've been expecting you.
The dragon's voice purred in a dangerous tone that dripped with poisoned honey.
What report do you bring that could possibly make me want to spare your life?
The dragon asked softly. The messenger choked on his words as the dragon's glowing eyes peeked around the metal paw between them.
Speak quickly, for I will greatly relish the thought of your miserable life coming to an end, you scum.
No, not the majesticness again! You're gonna die immediately!
You see, your majesticness. The messenger sputtered in utter terror, beginning to feel worse and worse, although his strength
I feel
was
bad for this
being
poor
pulled up
guy.
through his stomach.
He's trying his best, okay?
Look, I'm very sorry that I accidentally...
Accidentally?
The dragon roared in rage.
You mean to say that the reason every one of my minions in my mountain knows that my stinking parents named me weak in dragon language is because of a minor accident?
The dragon yelled in livid fury. The messenger shrank back in utter mortification.
First of all, the word stinking. Second of all...
I'm sure he would have swore if I was allowed to swear.
Do these hobgoblins know dragon language?
I don't think so, but now
if
they do.
not,
Now everyone in the
you just
mountain can
told
hear it.
him,
I don't
but
know.
Okay.
Who knows? Maybe someone else mentioned it.
Okay. I'm sorry, I didn't even know that was
Sorry.
what Salbach meant until after The dragon roared, preparing to incinerate him. You can kill me as soon as I give you Rebecca's report! The messenger screamed,
that doesn't-
causing the dragon's eyes to flash.
What? Who do you think gives the orders and grants permission around here? You don't give me permission to kill you when I'm ready. I kill you whenever I want and get someone else to read the report.
But you know how rare hobgoblins that can read are! The messenger protested, the dragon slowly swallowing his fire.
Why did it taste minty?
Chicken nugget milk.
Fine. Read the report, but know that your death is less than an inch away. I found that my new armored hands grants me extraordinary power, which I think is because this gold and silver glove was forged with magical dragon fire.
Totally.
I can kill you just by touching. I can touch you
now.
I can kill you just by touching you with the gentlest tap.
The dragon warned. The messenger, suddenly feeling woozy and having a substantial headache, reached for the report which had fallen on the ground. As he bent over, he came face to face with a strange object that was embedded in the bottom of the dragon's metal boot. Oh wow, I wonder what it could possibly be!
I wonder!
It was a stone disc with runes carved into the sides. Wow, ruining all the mysteries so quickly. You couldn't have explained what that is later, maybe, or, you know, just not had the wizard speak at all. Just not had the wizard do any of that nonsense.
Yeah, wizard, just freaking shut up,
Yeah,
please.
just please. There's so much more interesting that could have happened if this wizard just wasn't an idiot. Anyway, blah blah blah. It's a stone disc with runes carved into it and had a golden ring around the outside, which was connected to the gold of the dragon's glove. I mean, funny enough, considering all the gold melted together into a big blob, but sure. In the center of the artifact was a small, smooth, jewel-like green stone, which glowed faintly with a mystifying intensity. The messenger picked up the parchment and shook his head so as not to become mesmerized.
Also, I was there for some of that stream goal, but oh geez, yeah, that's scary. Zucker was coming for revenge. Kenzie says, one of my villagers is this ugly sheep named Pietro.
Pietro? You didn't see that coming.
Oh, I did not see that coming. Yeah, I had
Charlize
a
the
couple
gummy
ugly
bear.
ones. Yeah, you remember when I had Charlize?
Yeah, I hated her.
Now I have Leopold. I hate him.
Leopold Fitz?
He's... Who?
Never mind. It's
Okay.
a character from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh. Well, I hate him. I just hate him.
Okay.
And then I also kind of hate Sterling. I don't hate him, he just gives me such a weird vibe. He's like, he's a LARPer, and he's also a jock, and so he just gives me a weird feeling and I don't like it. And then I'm okay with the other ones, but there's only a couple that I really like. I like Flurry, I like Freya, I like Audie.
That's a car.
Anyway. Yes, Rebecca says that he sifted through the top layer of your treasure with an army of hobgoblins, but does not think that he found the artifact. He says he found several cursed items that caused the death of goblins, but upon his re-examination he feels sure that they were not powerful enough enchantments to harm you, though he removed them anyway. He also says that they identified several enchanted items with positively acting charms cast on them, which he did not remove from your treasure room. He had also asked permission to move the top layer of your treasure to a different room so that he can dig deeper to find the real item.
How stupid is this dragon to be like, I've got a magic hand that suddenly can kill people with a single touch, and they're looking for an item that can kill people with a single touch, and I have no idea what's happening. Whee! It's definitely not like it's stuck in the bottom of my foot or anything. Oh, I'm a dumb dragon. I don't have a brain.
Oh, no.
Freaking stupid dragon. Okay, plot contrivance, but
Yep.
you know. It's so much more interesting if he's got the thing that he doesn't, or like it's attached to his hand and he goes through life like being a tyrant and whatever, well really it's killing him slowly and, you know, use that in the final battle or something. It's so much more interesting things than just, oh yeah, I figured it out. Ooh.
I figured it out because Mr. Wizard Boy
such a
wouldn't
big
shut up.
brain and the dragon's dumb.
Yep.
Okay, anyway.
I thought I told him to find it by yesterday night, the dragon growled.
Well, some things are just not possible to do, even with magic. I mean, you do have a lot of treasure.
Never mind. Tell him to do whatever he needs to do in order to get rid of that item.
Yes, sir. Oh, and also one other report says that another collection troll arrived late last night from Littledale with their sacrifice. A girl.
A good one, I hope.
Actually, we're debating on whether she's within the age limit. She's awfully small.
They
The messenger
dared send
replied.
me someone underage? Gasp! How dare they!
The dragon growled.
If there's any question whatsoever, I want the entire village destroyed. Burn every building, leave no stone atop another. I demand respect.
With the goblins, I presume? Should we tell them to kill the inhabitants too, or should they be allowed to flee to other villages to serve as living warnings of your great power?
No, you do not scatter them and let them spread their views of rebellion. Then they grow. Their escape would give them hope, not strike fear into their hearts. You leave the people where they are, so they grow used to sitting around, and they become comfortable in their nice little lives, not going and talking to anyone else. What?
Okay, I think I understand what's happening now. Blah, blah, blah.
You leave the people where they are, so they grow used to sitting around, and they become comfortable in their nice little lives in Nineveh, not going and talking to anyone else. Then their sitting ducks gathered together so that I may kill them all easily whenever I please, and not one survives. Ever.
Except that wizard, I guess.
A very wise plan, the messenger praised, trying to put the dragon's anger on the village and not on himself. He wobbled uncertainly, his knees feeling weak.
Mom spaghetti. I thought not one survives ever, says the dragon. Maybe he's... Because, like, he said he saw that wizard just give up the treasure, but then the wizard escaped, so did the dragon just think he got him? He got him, he got him, he got him? Or is he, like, saying nobody ever escapes when, in reality, that bugs him in the back of his mind that one of actually did escape? I don't know.
He is an immature poopy.
He is an immature poopy.
We cannot allow these measly offerings. What I liked is back in the days when the sacrifice would be delectable.
Oh, please don't go on another rant about your dream meal. It's sick. The messenger pleaded, swaying slightly as his head
You're
began to
already
swing.
in
Don't tell
deep
him
water,
it's
good
sick. You're
sir.
gonna die.
You have no right to defy my eating preferences!
Dragon roared.
Wait, if your glove can hurt me just by being near me...
That's what you're thinking about right now? Good
What?
sir, please amend your priorities.
The messenger muttered as he fell over, seeing stars.
What did you say? You know I can't hear you when you talk that way,
The dragon roared.
What are you doing on the ground? Get up!
What you fell over for? Wait, I know where... The messenger whispered.
Wow, the stupid messenger figured it out before the dragon.
Big brain.
Wow, what a large-brained hobgoblin man.
The messenger whispered before falling into unconsciousness. The last thing he saw was the dragon's disgusted face as he slammed his big metal foot down atop the messenger.
Squish!
Well, that happened. You got whoop on it. Shake, shake, shake.
Shake, shake, shake. Shake your paws.
Oh, is
Paws?
Leopold the ugly
paws or
guy
their
from
feet?
the tent? Yeah, he's the guy that I had no choice but to invite. I had to invite the first person that came to stay at the campsite, and it was freaking Leopold. He was so nasty. I didn't like him. You should look up his picture.
Okay.
Look up Leopold. He's really ugly.
Don't judge how many tabs I have.
Poncho is
What?
kind of the same. Like, he's
it's
nice, but he's
broken.
obsessed with workouts, so some things he says are weird. Lol. Yeah, I mean,
what,
I'm okay.
What just happened? Oh my gosh, everything is broke.
Okay,
I don't know what happened there.
that was interesting.
I think it all broke. Recently closed, 57 tabs. This is a good day.
Jeez.
Why is it broken? Everything is... No wonder my computer's killing itself. It can't handle it can't handle the truth. Why is it broken? Oh my lord!
That's a lot, man.
You're a lot.
Thanks.
This is not a good device to have chosen to try to look this up on. Why is it...
I think there has been a clip.
What do you mean?
What is this clip? Let's see.
By chant in rhythmic language. Oh. Oh.
Okay. Okay, what am I looking up? Leopold?
Yeah. She named it the dragon sure did yell and live in fury.
Oh. He looks like a geek, like an anime weeb.
The inside of his house is like literally like a classroom, so I guess he's like supposed to be a teacher or something.
He does kind of have teacher vibes, I guess.
Yeah, but I don't like him, but I had no choice but to invite
Anyway.
him. He was kind of gross.
Boopity boop, boppity boop. Why did you have no choice?
Because, well, he was in the campsite, and so I talked to him once, and then usually if you, like, talk to your villagers, the villagers in the campsite, they'll either, like, play a game with you, and you can, like, win an item if you do it right, or they'll ask if they can move in, and you have, like, options, yes or no. So I talked to him again, and then he was like, oh, I kind of like this island, should I move in? And then my options were, like, yes, or yes, but differently worded, and I was like, I don't have a choice! And so I didn't realize that it wasn't going to give me a choice, and I was forced to invite him to my island, even though I did not like him.
You could have quit the game. Right then, right there. Just like, power off. Boom. Rossetti would have been like,
I don't think he exists in this version of the game, which is really a shame, because he's...
Swore!
So what?
Because he bleeps.
He was funny, Rossetti.
He's like, dang! You pressed the button!
You know who he looks like, McKay? He looks like a professor from Ruby. That's why he looks like a teacher. Let me TM you. Oh, okay. I will look for your message when it comes. Alright.
Do we want to quit here and come back to this another time? We've reached a Zuzazazuzazaz. Zuzazazuzazaz.
Sure.
And frankly, I don't know. Well, let's see. How long is this chunk? I don't know. I'm just not interested in reading what the wizard has to say, honestly, at this point.
Yeah, magic
okay, it's not too long.
Doesn't sound super fun.
Alright, well.
I'm fine with another chunk, or I'm fine with stopping.
Let's do one chunk. And
okay.
Wait, let's see what's after this chunk. What happens on the next chunk after? More wizard.
It does kind of look like him. Look at this green-haired man.
Okay.
Yeah, but this man isn't like.
Yeah, you know, I don't want to read any more about the wizard right now. Can we stop for the day? Well, we can come back to it next time. I got annoyed at the wizard in the last segment with the wizard, and I
freaking so much exposition.
I know. Yeah. Okay. Everyone, remember we're on page 49 when we come back.
That was some good progress.
Each dab, my dudes. I am a potato salad sandwich. No.
But if you're a sandwich, why I not eat?
I am a potato salad sandwich. Do you actually want that?
That's apparently a real thing. Like, there's recipes.
Is there?
Google potato salad sandwich. There would be, like, images.
I don't want to Google anything else. It's going to kill my computer.
Oh, well, rip.
Your faces are red.
What? My stinking parents named me weak in dragon language, which doesn't have a name. He was the runt of the litter. Litter? Is it really litters if it's eggs? Dragon eggs? I don't know. Funny.
Inside golden treasure is it?
I do kind of like the dragon character. He's kind of funny. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean, he's just an overgrown child. It's funny. he got all that big old dragon butt power and he don't know what to do with it. He's like, oh, I'm cool just because I'm a dragon. You should all like serve me and stuff. And they're like, okay, I guess so, but they don't really want to. And he's like,
he kind of has some
spoiled child vibes.
He has like more childlike Loki vibes because he's just so insecure and angsty about his life and he just takes it out on everyone else.
He kills his minions a lot.
Yeah.
Poor guys. Why have they not risen up yet? Why are the goblins putting up with this?
I don't know.
They don't seem like they're very happy.
They should all be like Ian and be like, we're going to die anyway. Our lives mean nothing.
Wow.
Let's
revive me?
Revolt. There we go. I couldn't speak.
I don't speak.
You are speaking.
English.
Mobius, you are speaking.
No, it's a lie.
Continue.
Okay, well, I'm putting this away. I need this. Ha. Get wrecked.
Can we stop our own stream, which we control, please, Mom? Please, can we stop?
What does it mean? What's this?
What?
What does it mean?
Well, because you were just asking me to have permission to stop, and you were the one to control.
I am a god, you dull creature, and I will not be bullied.
That literally is the dragon.
It really is.
Not
Do make fun of me. Yeah.
Puny dragon. Hulk just grabs him by the tail.
Later, Super EJ Ian comes in, just wham, swings around like Mario with Bowser, and then yeets him into a bomb.
And he goes,
that was conveniently placed to
puny dragon.
Yep.
He's a mix of Loki and Thanos with his little hand thing that he's got going on.
Yes. Good stuff. Fun times.
Yes, good stock.
Good battle.
Goodbye.
Slap. Well, I have I was gonna say Minecraft manhunt. Where did that come from? A Sea of Thieves manhunt to do tomorrow. So
Oh, okay.
clearly I must get sleep and train and prepare for it. No, I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna vibe.
Train and prepare.
Nah, I'm good. I'm good.
How many hunter boys?
Too many. So, the first one we did, which is posted, we did one hunter ship and one speedrunner ship. Then the second one we did, which I haven't posted yet, but I'm starting in the process of editing, we did one runner ship and 2 hunter ships, and it was very, very close, but we died. So we didn't actually complete the 2 hunter one. Now we're doing 3 this next time because too many people showed up or said they wanted to be a part of it, and I'm like, we didn't even succeed last time. This is gonna be great, and we're gonna die. We're really gonna die. I hope we don't die, because that would be great content, but we're probably gonna die.
You know what I hope?
I hope I poop!
Yes.
Yeah, I just hope we can actually get 4 ships on the same server, because Sea of Thieves makes that incredibly difficult. Also, I hope we don't lag too much, because my computer is a potato.
Potato.
Yes. Well, anyway, God bless. Thank you all for coming out. It's great.
Yeah.
Let me catch up with chat real
Hey,
quick.
accept the elf as your lord and savior, and then you will have magic powers.
That's not at all how this works. Don't listen to my story from when I was 16. I do not endorse this.
EJ, wait!
Okay, I'm waiting, Truly, I'm waiting.
What do we wait for?
EJ becoming a Sea of Thieves sweat for real. No, I literally can't. My computer lagged so much, both in frame rate and in internet. I was freezing for like 5 frames at a time when I was trying to play earlier today. I mean, 5 frames. I was freezing for like 5 seconds at a time with 0 FPS for like multiple times, and I couldn't do anything. I am not going to do well at this. I'm going to cry, but I can edit it so that it looks fun and might be competent as long as I get somewhat stable enough frame rate while recording it as well and causing my computer pain. I don't know.
Shrew says, bye, I love you.
Aw. Bye,
That
Shrew,
was so
love you
important,
too.
he had to say, what?
Okie dokie. Well, that's it for now. So
Yeah.
bye Shroomy, bye Kenzie, bye Silver, bye everyone else who might
I'm
happen
gonna
to
get
still be here.
snacks because I'm hungry.
That's amazing. I'm gonna probably procrastinate sleeping and do who knows what for the next little bit, and then I'll sleep, and then I'll be sad and not know what to do for the first bit of the day.
Nice.
Good stuff. All right, bye.
Bye.